drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine. Drove the spot is rolling, drop the price of the cocaine.
Hello, this is an amazing turnout for tonight. Thank you to all the people on the Textile George Cord and the people who saw the community tab. Today, I'll be interviewing a very special guest, someone I admire, and every time I look at their videos, I envy them, thinking, how the hell does he do that? Someone who I would personally consider not just a memer, but an artist and a pioneer of postmodern art. Uh, as well as a very skilled editor and internet shitposter, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Textile George.
Hello.
The voice has been revealed at long last.
The voice reveal.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I was a little nervous leading up to this, but I'm doing pretty good.
Yep, chat's going crazy. Morbius cameo, you are here. Wow, there it is.
Yep. I'm sure my voice is a little bit of a letdown for people because that's just how things work.
That's part of the reason why I became a VTuber and part of the reason why I have no plans to reveal my face.
Yeah.
Is because the idea people have in their heads, I want them to have that because I've seen some of my favorite personalities get revealed in real life, and it's always disappointing. Like
Always.
It's never the vision you have in your head.
Yep. The idea is always more beautiful.
Anyways, for those of you who don't know, and this is for the people retrospectively because I know everyone in chat knows who this person is. Textile George is... How would you describe your presence on the internet?
A niche internet micro celebrity, yes.
I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I'm well known in circles.
Indeed. Sorry, choking a little here. Yes, so George here has a YouTube channel with, what is it now? Last time I checked it was over 50,000 subscribers.
Yeah, it's about 50,000.
Full of some of the weirdest shit you will ever see on the internet. And that's particularly what drove me to you, because Anyone who scrolls down enough in my own channel knows I have a tendency to like weird shit, especially weird games. Uh, I have on numerous occasions streamed myself playing 5D chess.
Awesome.
But anyways, first question I have for you is
Yes, sir.
what is schizocore?
Well, it's really just a word I kind of made up. I've actually seen it used around on the web since then. I don't know if I'm the one that like popularized it, but it's it's just kind of a shorthand, and it's a term I came up for a surrealistic kind of like dark satire of in daggone it. I'm having a brain fart here.
I know, I have them all the time.
It
If you want a good example of what schizocore is, look at the background image that I hastily found on Google earlier today to serve as a background, because I have no background, because I never do interview formats like this.
it's really it's it's kind of its own thing at this point. I've seen a lot of people compare it to stuff like Cruelty Squad and stuff like that, but I really didn't draw any inspiration from any of that kind of stuff.
That's actually another question I've been dying to ask is, what is your inspiration?
My inspiration is actually if anybody by chance even remembers or has used this board on 4chan, there's the old board F for Flash.
Flash. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Also age reveal. George is a doomer. Sorry.
Oh,
Actually, yeah, you are a doomer. You're millennial if I no, actually doomer. You're millennial if I remember correctly.
oh yeah.
Would you like
Yeah,
would you like to reveal your age?
I'm 30 years old.
Yes, he is a proper DILF.
Yeah. Oh God. No. But yes. But yeah, the 4chan F board. It it's home to a lot of very strange things that are like not really the kind of things you can find anywhere else. A lot of music loops with really surreal, like maybe Adult Swim bumper inspired kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um,
Would you say it has, because it's Flash, would you say it has an element of Newgrounds in there?
no, this is a little bit separated from that. Sometimes you would see animations from Newgrounds posted there, but the kind of stuff that inspired me was like kind of a little more underground than that. It was a lot of inspiration, I think, for those people came from the old site You're the Man Now Dog. That now that's going back.
Oh,
Um,
why? You're the oh god.
yeah, that's a really old site.
The only thing about that, which is permanently burned in my memory, is a certain '90s McDonald's mascot, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's like the only thing I know about YTMND. That's my only interaction with it, is that.
It's it's weird, man. It's basically, I guess that's kind of like the originator of, or the like, yeah, it's kind of the originator of like the YouTube poop, kind of deal.
Interesting.
Like a lot of the stuff that came off of there was that kind of stuff.
Yeah, full disclosure, I am 25. I never really got into YouTube poops as a thing. I
Oh,
just, I don't know. It's like, I was more of the watching Let's Play and just video game commentary sort of guy. I didn't watch that kind of animation. Although, I
right.
suppose later in life, in retrospect, I do have an appreciation for it, because if you look at my thumbnails, I try to make them as shitposty as I can.
Yeah. Yeah, the YouTube poops have actually kind of started leaking into like other aspects of the internet in recent years, and I personally love that.
And this is actually one of the reasons I was excited for this interview, was to talk about internet culture with you, because you seem
Oh
like
yeah,
someone very seasoned in it as well.
Yeah, in certain aspects. I can give you a little bit of background on my online experience. I actually did not have consistent, and this might be revealing a little bit too much information about myself, but I did not have consistent access to internet other than like for a few minutes at a time until I was 18. Even though we had internet in the house on a computer, like starting really early, like 1995. My mother actually chatted a lot on AOL chat rooms when I was a little bitty kid.
Interesting. So between that and the slight southern drawl I hear, I'm assuming you are from some
Kentucky,
Kentucky.
yeah, Kentucky.
Rural Kentucky, I would imagine.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit later, but I've been around a lot of rural people, at least.
Yep, so did my dad. He grew up on a farm, and uh, he would talk about how relatable certain aspects of Trailer Park Boys was to him. It's like, hey, I knew people who lived in a trailer park, and hey, yeah, they also drank Swish.
Yeah. So I didn't have really consistent internet access until I was 18. So like I kind of grew up outside of that. I heard about 4chan, believe it or not, when I was in high school, like in the really early days of 4chan. But I really didn't get on it. And then I turned 18 and I basically spent the first, I don't know, 5 years of my time on the internet either exploring um, like small like art websites. That was a really popular thing for a long time. Was these art websites where they would like encode like web toys to show off like their like art projects and stuff like that. Um, I did that, and I hung out on iScribble and Congregate pretty much all the time for
Congregate,
years.
congregate, spelt with a K, right?
That's right. Yep.
I
The Flash
remember,
game.
I remember that one.
Oh yeah. I
Some of like the weirdest memories, which I don't know, they feel kind of like fever dreams to me. Like I can't believe I did this. Was Flash games.
Oh yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
like
there's some weird Flash games out there.
that was before uh games became really cheap and easily available.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like yeah, you would just go on the internet even at school, go on whatever Flash website there was, and watch as the school's cheap 90s computers chug slowly at an intense graphical frame rate, which was
Oh yeah.
honestly I liked it though because the computers at my school they weren't like that bad, but it's like when some really intense part of a game happened, you could see the frame rate slow down to like I don't know, maybe 10 FPS, and something about it just felt really
Yeah.
satisfying. It's like whatever's happening on the screen is so intense, it's breaking the computer.
There was so much talent in Flash games, and it's a genuine tragedy that they kind of got usurped by mobile games because I thought after like 10 years that mobile games would start getting a little better. You'd see more talent in it, but it's really not that way. And I think it's because of the monetization, the way that monetization is set up
There
with Flash games.
are diamonds in the rough within the mobile
There
market.
are. There are, but it's not like Flash games, in my opinion. Now, I'm an old grumpy 30-year-old. I'm talking about the good old days here, so you take that with a grain of salt. But in my opinion, Flash games like were a pinnacle of indie game development. There's still so many out there that people should really explore.
You know,
Um,
you're actually not wrong there. When you think about it, it was like the prehistoric version of indie games. It was proto
oh
indie.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
there were no restrictions on it. They were made by very small teams.
Oh yeah, and some of them are like some of them have turned into actual games, and like game series on Steam, like Epic Battle Fantasy.
Castle
That
Crashers.
yeah, Castles Crashers, yeah. So I spent about 5 years chatting on Congregate while playing Flash games like that and exploring that. Um, I didn't really start getting into like the really weird stuff until about 2014. I started branching out onto other boards. Embarrassingly, I spent a lot of time on B, and didn't like go outside of that until like 2014 because I was just like, what are these other boards? These are boring. They move too slow.
Honestly, that was me as well. I was B.
Yeah. Yeah. So I moved out to Flash, thankfully, like, before like it started really dying off. And the board is still around, but it's pretty much dead all the time now.
What, B?
And no, F.
F. Wait, I thought they got rid of it.
Have they gotten rid of it now? I don't think so. It was around like a few months ago, I think.
I don't know, because most of the time I'm either on TG, Hiss, or K.
That's fair. That's fair. I visit those boards a little bit, especially TG. I really like choose your own adventure stuff.
I see you two are a fan of role-playing games.
Oh yeah.
If you you probably noticed my model actually has a D20 on it.
Oh, does it really? I hadn't noticed.
Yeah. Let me zoom in for you. A D20 on a ball and chain, which is supposed to symbolize I am a forever DM.
Awesome. That's awesome.
By the way, if anyone finds this model to be low-quality trash, don't worry, it's 1.0. 2.0 is actually on the way.
Nice.
Once I get enough money for a rigger.
Yeah.
That's actually something else I was very curious about, because I look at your community posts a lot. Like, it was, I would say that they are honestly better than the videos sometimes.
Yeah, I feel that way too. I don't like it, but I feel that way.
Like, sometimes they do feel stagnant, but other times they feel really interesting. And I do notice a lot of trends aside from just the schizocore, one of which is anime, specifically Evangelion, is something I see a lot.
Oh no. We're gonna get it.
It was gonna happen. So tell us about who is best waifu.
No. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get into that. I will say I have seen like an alarming amount of anime. I think, and I've actually not watched anime in several months because my total episode count for number of anime I've seen is 6,900 right now. So I don't want to mess that up. But I've seen quite a bit. If I had to pick a waifu, it would be Yuko from X-Holic by Clamp.
I was actually specifically referring to Evangelion, but that works too.
No, I'm not choosing between the 14-year-old girls. No. Can't do that. Misato, I guess. There's the safe pick.
Indeed.
But, yeah.
And I noticed that the other thing which is also fairly weeb related is, all right, let's just put it this way: why do you hate JRPGs?
Okay, well, I feel like they're just like not fun. I don't like them. They're mechanically they're not very deep. There's always a right way to play. You know what I mean? Like there's always a very like clear, correct way to play. And I don't like games that like do that. I like games that are like a little less streamlined and optimizable.
I think I know what you're talking about. Are you talking about games like Space Station 13, perhaps?
Yeah. Oh man, Space Station 13. I almost lost one of my friends to that. He like started playing it, and I just didn't see him for like 3 months. Yeah.
I actually not Space Station 13 because I'm not downloading Beyond. But I have streamed Space Station 14, which is a remake of it, which, unlike other remakes, is actually gaining traction. Because
oh, really? There's a remake of Space Station 13?
So the game has a history of remakes, but they all try to do it in really bad ways, like making it a top-down 3D game or like a first-person shooter. It's like, no. Like, that stuff just doesn't work. The only successful thing that's come from it is the spiritual successor. It is Borrow Trauma, which I've also streamed.
Really?
Yes, if you've never heard of Borrow Trauma, it's I would say, and actually, Bartram is the game that made me realize that Among Us is just a very watered down version of Space Station 13.
Well, I always felt like Among Us was a watered down version of. I guess it is Space Station 13. I always considered it a watered down version of Traitor in Terrorist Town on Gmod. If you've ever played that.
I haven't, but I've heard people compare it to Space Station 13, so we are
Oh yeah,
gaining a certain sense of consistency here.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Borrowed Trauma, it's basically a game where you play as like it's a multiplayer co-op game where you and like a number of friends have to crew like a submarine in the oceans of Europa. Uh, and it's one of those games where the shit can very easily hit the fan.
That's awesome.
It's also a game where you can straight up be a clown.
Oh, I love those. That's actually like my main thing on Space 13 is to be the clown.
Yeah, you get to be a clown, and you even can have like a rubber hammer, and you can hit people with it.
Boy.
And I think there's like a 1% chance that you kill them if you hit them with it.
Oh, I need to try this out. That sounds great.
Oh, Power Trauma is fun, but only with friends, I would say. Like, there's a single player version, but
Oh, okay. So it's not like a server situation like Space Station 13.
Well, you can find servers online, but you're going to be playing with randos, and my experience with that is, let's just say it's not exactly easy to find a consistent game. But regardless, so the idea is you have to play these missions, but you can also switch on optional mode wherein there is a trader with their own secret objectives.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And much like Space Station 13, it's one of those games where like you have two hands, you can only hold one thing in each hand at a time, like SS13. Inventory can be cumbersome for the exact same reason, like you have to stuff things in your utility belt in limited slots. So it's very much reminiscent of Space Station 13, but going back to my original point, Space Station 14 is an update on an actual modern engine. It's on Steam, and it's getting updated almost every day. Like, minor changes here and there, but, yeah. They've still got a long way to go. Wizards aren't in yet, but they do have Nukies. Okay. Chemistry works. In fact, I've had some fun in chemistry, let me tell you.
Yeah, you can go down rabbit holes on that.
Yeah, I ended up developing my own combat drugs, which was basically just speed and meth.
Lord.
And recently they added invisible walls to mines.
Oh boy.
Yes. So now I want to try playing a mine. But I'm assuming you're also potentially a fan of like old school roguelikes then, if you like that kind of game.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I really like NetHack. I know that's a really basic one, but it's still one of the best ones.
Oh, I love NetHack. I remember playing that on my phone in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually there was a point in college where I didn't have a computer and like this really nice girl that I had classes with like was like, "Oh, I've got a computer you can have." And it was a 2007 Toshiba satellite that like it couldn't even play Flash games. It was insanely bad.
And then you so you booted up NetHack, and she was horrified at what she was looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, so I still have that computer, and I basically just played NetHack on it, and a few other like really low DynaHack, of course, and just all kinds of roguelikes.
By the way, question for a chat: do you know what NetHack is? Because I'm sure that there are a lot of Zoomers in chat right now who have no idea what we're talking about, and they will look at gameplay of NetHack and they'll say, "What in God's name is this abomination?"
Yeah, it's like it looks like you're like programming a DOS computer.
I mean, that's basically how it started. Actually, I was at some point in the future, I was wondering if I should do a video essay on roguelike, specifically because they aren't the same anymore. Like, there's a few, but it's become something so different and so limited.
Yeah, that they've even like now put all the like actual roguelike games into like the categorization of traditional roguelike. And even then sometimes you get some that are like clearly not
I
the same thing.
think for me, the breaking point for me was, and some people are gonna hate this, Risk of Rain 2.
You think Risk of Rain 2? I felt like Risk of Rain 1 was like pretty like not a roguelike, not like a traditional one.
I never played the first one, but I played the second, and all I can say is, where's the randomly generated environments? Like,
Yeah.
and the more I play it, the more I'm like, this isn't a roguelike, this is COD Zombies. Just with some very unique mechanics.
Yeah, I guess they had to have a name for it, but like they didn't have to like co-opt the name. They could have like picked something else. Um, that's kind of just
Yeah,
like a problem with genres.
actually, if you do like NetHack, there is one game, and I've actually... So, last week, because I was on hiatus for 3 weeks, last week I did non-stop streaming of roguelikes, and one of which I played was a game called Pathos.
Oh yeah, I've got that.
Oh, you've played it.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna recommend it to you because there's a mobile version for it, and there
yeah,
is a desktop version of it, and it is fun as hell.
yeah. Pathos is on every phone I've had since I discovered it like 4 years ago. That's a good one. I've actually never like beaten it, unfortunately, but I don't even know if it has an end.
Oh no, it does. I think
I-
if it's supposed to be a successor to NetHack, which it advertises itself as, it's 40 levels. You gotta get the Amulet of Yendor, which is Rodney spelled backwards.
Huh.
Yeah,
I never noticed that.
neither have I. I looked it up recently. And then you have to, from what I understand, you have to get out again. Which, when that happens, all the enemies come back to life as like ghosts.
Nice.
And the furthest I've ever gotten is level 11.
I've gotten further than that, but I've never gotten anywhere near the amulet. That's for sure.
Yeah, roguelikes these days are not nearly as hard.
No, not even close. Of course, well, sometimes I wish NetHack wasn't quite so hard, but at the same time, I guess it would take away from it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to decide.
Like, actually, one particular roguelike that had a really nice little subtle nod to it was, well, not to NetHack, but to roguelikes as a genre, was Hades. Because one of the characters you can meet in the first environment is Sisyphus.
Oh, okay. I avoided that game because there was so much hype around it, and I was like, this could not possibly live up to the hype that people have given it to me. So
Well,
I
okay,
was just like, I'm just not
I
gonna
will
play it.
say, as far as Supergiant games go, it's on par with Bastion and Transistor.
Okay, yeah.
Like, music's good. Story. Actually, I would say the strongest part about that game is the story. Like, there's so much dialogue and so many characters that just get fleshed out over time.
Yeah.
That said,
I
it
can get
still
into
suffers. It
games
still
with a
suffers.
story.
It still suffers from modern roguelike syndrome, which is, the phrase I use to describe modern roguelikes is padded walls. Do you understand what that means?
Mm, I feel like I might, but go ahead and
So,
explain it
like,
for me.
I mean, in a game like NetHack, you can just straight up dip your sword in a fountain.
Right.
And if you didn't do that, you wouldn't know that you could turn your sword into the Holy Sword Excalibur. But at the same time, more than likely it's gonna rust. It's one of
Yep.
those things where it's like, do it and find out for yourself. Like, do it at your own risk. Meanwhile, in modern roguelikes, it's very restricted in what you can actually do. Like,
Oh yeah.
which means it's more streamlined and more simplistic and less error and less room for mistakes, which is why it's padded. It's like safety measures to keep people from getting confused and raging. But it also
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
but it also creates that sort of, I guess, inorganicness, that linearity that which you don't find in modern roguelikes. Which, have you played Caves of Cud?
I have not. if that's the one I'm thinking of, I've been waiting for it to like exit beta forever. Maybe that's low dark age or low
It
magic age.
has been in beta forever, and all I can say is fucking play it. Oh my god.
I need to. I have a thing about playing games in beta though. I can't do it.
Let me tell you, it is my favorite roguelike. I have a
All right.
lot of them. I've played everything from Slay the Spire to NetHack to One Step from Eden. That's my all-time favorite.
Okay. Cool.
I don't think I know of any other roguelike where you can cook with gravity and
That sounds interesting.
and create a black hole with your mind to suck up your enemies and also jump into that black hole to be teleported to anywhere else in the world, which could be somewhere
Wow.
in the which could be somewhere in the overworld, or it could be somewhere in a random cave 20 levels down.
Yeah. Wow. That sounds really interesting. I'll have
Oh,
to check that out.
it's such a weird game too, like because the whole point is really far post-apocalyptic future where everything's mutated, so you can find so you could like have a faction alliance with talking plants and frogs.
Wow. I really do need to check that out.
It's so weird. Seth Zinch did a review on it, which unfortunately garnered some. Let's just say I like Seth Zinch. I don't like his fan base
Okay. Yeah.
because they harassed the devs quite a lot after that video because of a joke he made.
Oh Lord. Yeah. That's just kind of the part of putting yourself out on the internet in general.
Of course,
I get a lot of harassment too. We can talk about that later though.
Yep.
Yeah.
So going back, because there's something I've just always been curious about, because not too long after I met you, I also started video editing, and if you've seen my content, I don't know if you have, it's very, very simple. Like, I'm self-taught when it comes to editing, and I use a free version of VSDC. I have
Yeah.
no idea what tools you use or how you get the effects that you do.
Oh yeah. Believe it or not, I do it almost all on a old Samsung S5 or 5S or whatever that is, and it's seen better days. And there's several apps that are for Android that like do things that no computer app can like easily do. You might be able to do it, but it would take like an extreme amount of time, and these can do it in like almost no time.
Interesting.
Um,
So you just apply a bunch of filters from, like,
I I apply effects layered. I've learned how to like layer effects in certain ways to like produce certain looks. The big one is Glitch Lab, and the thing with Glitch Lab is that you can take an image, a still image, and you can apply an effect to it, and then you can in, interpolate. Okay, I'm from Kentucky, guys. Leave me alone about pronunciation. But interpolate, I think, is the word between frames. So you can set like an effect to do one thing, and then set and like adjust things around, and um, and then hit bookmark again, and then it'll like bring up like make a video that's like an interpolation of all the frames in between those two like settings on the effect. And
interesting.
so
I'm looking at this right now. It does look very trippy.
yeah, it's super powerful for like editing still frames into like animation and into video. There's nothing else out there like it, but except for the other ones that are made by these people. 8-bit Photo Lab is made by the same people. It can't do frame interpolation. Mirror Lab can, and it can do some really cool stuff too. Luma,
I think I'll have to play around with this at some point.
oh yeah, yeah, it is. It's really unique. And then I take that and I put it in Motion Ninja, and I start like editing it in there, putting extra effects on it, adjusting lighting and all that kind of stuff. I'll usually be listening to audio while I'm doing it, and then once I've like selected out what part of the audio I want to play of what I've been listening to, I'll put that in there on over the video. Um, and start layering it. A lot of times there's several layers to a video. Um,
And so yeah, it's mostly that. I also use Vimage, which is another Android app. I use Lumi Photo Editor for some stuff that like Glitch Lab doesn't do like normal photo editing stuff. It does like really interesting effects, and it's actually data moshing. It's basically a data moshing app. Um, and then I use Easy Glitch Lab, which is not the best, but it can do a little bit of a few things that like other apps can't do pretty quickly.
Hmm.
It can make photos into GIFs pretty quick with a little bit of animation to it with a glitch. So I usually use those and layer it. I actually started using these apps on my phone because I was going on vacation in 2020 or 2021. I can't even remember. It must have been 2021. I was going on vacation and I wasn't going to have Adobe Premiere in my computer with me. I was like, man, I've got to like find something I can do on my phone, I guess.
I
And
I
then
think I think that actually lines up because the way I discovered you was by searching up memes about a very certain video game drama. Uh,
oh yeah,
do you know which one I'm talking about?
no,
Well, you made a video on the subject. It was
oh Lord,
yes, and it was not like your content nowadays. It was very vanilla, I would say, but it was still something that I watched again and again, and it kind of introduced me to Death Grips.
oh really? I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
which video?
Yes, that okay. I want to clarify something because I knew this would come up, and I was afraid that you might have this misconception also. A lot of those earlier videos I did not make. I did not make that one.
Really?
Those are all meme. My channel started out as a meme archive. For
Hmm.
I did not find that was already on YouTube. Now I always check to make sure it wasn't already on YouTube. Sometimes they were on YouTube, but they were under like really bizarre names that I couldn't find and no one else ever would. And then like I would get the creator like messaging me and be very upset because mine was getting a ton of views because it had a name that people could find.
I
And
I
it's like,
considered doing something similar at some point, but I also like everything on my channel is basically original content. It's stuff that I make myself because that way I know
yeah,
I won't have to get into that kind of trouble.
yeah. Well, I should explain how all that started. I actually started the YouTube channel because I had like 8 servers that I was in that I was basically keeping like their meme channels alive because I would go and like find all these great memes and I would go through and I'd post them all to each of these servers and it would take
Hmm.
forever.
By the
And so
way,
I
by
was
the
like,
way,
yes,
sorry, a
sir.
little off topic. Why can't I post any more stuff in your meme channel?
Okay, so me or one of the other moderators at some point, you probably posted a really bad meme. No, I'm not. I'm don't get mad, but you probably posted like several really bad memes, and so your permissions got taken away. We do that to people to like help control the quality of the posts in the channel. I've stopped doing that recently, but
I will say,
that was a thing.
like, I was never really given any kind of slap on the wrist or any kind of first strike, second strike, or anything.
Yeah, no, I we weren't really doing that because there's just so many people. Yeah, if you only knew how many like how much time I'm not doing it too much here lately, like moderating and stuff. It's almost all Mason. If I had to pay him by the hour, like minimum wage, he would make like 20,000 a year. It's so time consuming. He's probably spends like 4 or 5 hours moderating in a day.
Yeah,
It's
this is
crazy.
this is why I do have my own like server, but I don't post a link to it for my viewers because I want to keep it controlled at least until I get like a good structure of what I want it to be, especially because
Yeah.
one thing, and being someone who grew up on 4chan, you might notice too, one thing I hate is moderators.
Yeah.
Like, like I understand that they're important, but my god, Jannies are always the worst people.
Yeah, I believe me, I get a lot of people with that attitude, and I understand it. But like, I've got to do it on my server, otherwise things go so bad.
I know
Uh,
you do. It's just I don't know. I think that moderators should be held to some sort of like basic like standard, like, and I even have on my server like a specific channel which has the rules for the moderators.
Yeah, there's a secret rule channel for that in my server for that the moderators can see. Of course, we don't have any moderators right now. No one wants to do it. I can't find anyone that wants to do it that isn't obviously gonna like
Abuse their power.
cause problems. They might not even abuse it on purpose. They might just cause problems. Or I haven't known them for long enough because like all the admin I've known, except for Mason, I've known for like a year. The other admins I all knew for like at least 4 or 5 years before.
Yeah. To quote someone, whoever first coined the phrase, "You get what you paid for."
Yeah,
and
I'm not paying them.
They're Jannies. They do it for free.
Yep. But yeah. So going back to the YouTube thing, I started that because I was posting so many memes all over the place, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna like leave this link here. I'm starting a YouTube channel, and I'm just gonna upload all the memes that I find onto this YouTube channel, and you guys can like, look at them there, and this will save everyone a lot of trouble. And so I didn't really think anything of it. I started uploading it, and I accidentally like, and as far as I know, it was like the first place it was uploaded anywhere other than 4chan, which is, it like when something's uploaded to 4chan, a lot of the times it goes up in vapor if someone doesn't save it. Was the Koofer meme, the original Australian Koofer meme before like the pandemic. It was about the wildfires, and I ended up uploading that. And it got like 20,000 views when I had like 20 subscribers or something like that.
The best video on my channel so far is one I put together in 30 minutes. It's like 4 seconds long.
Yeah.
And it's just titled "Send This to Your Furry Friend."
Oh God, yeah. See, stuff like that just takes off. My most popular original content, which I'll get into how I started that here in a minute. Most popular original content. It's not the most popular on my YouTube channel, but I see it floating around all the time. Is the I'm losing it, and it's got like Nazarene from Toho in a blanket dancing around.
Can you
I
send
see
that
that
one to me?
all the time.
Can you send that one to me? I don't know if it's in that one. By the way, someone wants to know why you haven't breastfed them.
Because I cannot breastfeed people. I'm not a pregnant woman.
Okay, well, there's your answer, Jesse.
Okay, let's see.
Because they say you haven't breastfed them in 2 months. And they specifically tagged me and asked me to mention that.
That must have been really important on their mind.
I will say, there is something funny about watching this chat while I listen to you, because it's like they're having their own separate conversation.
Yeah, they're just kind of doing their own thing, aren't they?
Pretty much.
But yeah, so that's how I ended up making it. And also, like, after it started taking off, I was like, oh hey, I should like link my personal Discord, which at the time like had like 40 people or something, or maybe 100. It might have had 100, because I was like, it's kind of quiet around here. I was actually pretty lonely at the time. I'm a big time like a recluse and loner in real life. Like,
between 40 and 100 people, and yet you're alone.
Yeah, well, it was quiet. It was pretty quiet. So I was like, I'm kind of lonely. I could use some more friends, and so I posted a link to it. And so I just started like posting the link in the video, and next thing I knew, here we are. And I've got like at one point I had like close to 5,000 people in the server. I've like pruned a lot of people that were like inactive, and I've had the invites closed for a while just to let the community settle down because there was so much upheaval from so many new people.
Part of the reason why I joined the VTuber community was I think the phrase or the term is parasocial relationships.
Oh yeah.
Like about like finding friends online sort of thing.
Yeah. I heard about parasocial relationships in relation to Game Grumps, because I'm like I was a mega Game Grumps fan. I've seen every episode of Game Grumps from around 2017 and before, at least 5 or 6 times. Every episode.
Damn.
So I pretty much had it running all the time. And I felt like Dan and Aaron were like my best friends, but like, they're not because they've never met me. They've never talked to me. They probably
I
never
know,
even
I
met me
know,
on
I know.
the
There are times where they have a really insightful conversation, and I want to weigh in, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't. This was recorded days
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, but like, like, so yeah, I know all about parasocial relationships like that. But
Indeed, and I would have to say that since becoming a VTuber and becoming a streamer, I have reached out and networked with a lot of people. I've made some friends, I made some enemies, and I don't talk about them because I don't want drama, but I think I've grown a lot as a person, and I've definitely met some people who changed my life. I even met my girlfriend.
nice, nice. I just kind of started. I didn't really start mine with any aspirations or anything. I was just kind of like, I'm gonna just start this and see what happens. And it's kind of just been fluid and where I go with it and that kind of stuff. Right now, I'm actually taking a break from making content on the channel. I'm working on making album covers and music videos for people.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I might link some of that when it's finished
Yeah,
in the Discord.
I forget if I mentioned this, but you also made the thumbnail for this video.
Yes, yes, I did. Yeah. So the shift between for me, like creating original content, was when I started getting these strikes and stuff, because like like people would get upset that I uploaded their meme, and like I put in the descriptions, like message me if this is your meme or whatever that, and people never did. They always just went off on me.
Okay,
Um,
I want to. So there is something that I really hate, and it's when people accuse anyone, of stealing their meme.
right? Yeah,
But
yeah. Oh boy.
how many memes are actually original work?
Right. Yeah.
How many memes are taken from whatever movie just dropped, which
Right.
was, which, was like millions of dollars was spent on? It's like, it's not yours. You're recycling media content. That's what memes are.
Well, I get that they can be upset, but like, isn't the point of memes to like spread them around? Like, like I tell everybody, use my stuff that I've created myself. You're allowed. Anybody can take any of that. I don't even care if you like make a YouTube channel and re-upload them and get like 10 times as many views as I do, and say that you made them. That is okay with me. I'm putting them out there, and I just hope people
Like
enjoy them, because that's kind of the point.
it reminds me of that phrase in A Princess Bride. You're trying to steal what I've rightfully stolen.
Yeah, man, I got out of the meme archival stuff because like you would not believe how mean some people got over like that kind of stuff. Some of it wasn't even about like being stolen. It was just like that they were like, "Oh, this meme is like for me and my friends. I don't want anyone else to see it. This was only for me and my friends.
Then
You got to
set
take it down."
then set it to fucking private, bitch.
Right? Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, dude, I just saved this off of Discord. It's like, or 4chan or something. It's like it's already out there. You didn't, you whatever. But I got away from that, and I was like, well, what can I make? And in the past, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm self-taught completely too. Um, there was one point where I like just made a little video of like a GIF and put music over it, and that was like the maximum of my ability at the time. So I was like, I need to find something that like I can make that I enjoy with my limited skills. So gondola was the main thing. I was like, oh shit, gondola. It's just like a still picture
Benis.
with like fitting music over it. And I was like, I can do that. And so
Benis.
that's where it really started. Yeah, yeah.
Benis.
So business. Fug. It
Spurto,
really started
Gondola.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Um,
definitely something which has become sort of an icon for you. It's like,
yeah.
by the way, I noticed that you don't really change your profile picture like you did once, and you made an entire event out of that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. That was
uh,
like some RG.
which all I have to say is mad respect, because I hate it when people change like their name and their profile picture. It's like, I don't know
Yeah,
who
me
you are
too.
anymore. I literally cannot identify you.
Right. Yeah, exactly, dude. I was telling some people in the server that earlier, or like last week. I was like, if you change your name and like and break the rules, I'll just be like, who is this new guy? Who's this jerk that's breaking the rules? It's like, I don't know you. Get out of my server. So it's like, don't change your names. I won't remember who you are.
Indeed. There was one other thing that I was interested in talking about because, I mean, simply because of the nature of this interview. Have you had any exposure to VTubers?
No, I haven't actually. I guess you're my first like VTuber exposure.
That's
I've
very
seen
fascinating.
yeah. I've seen a lot of VTuber memes and stuff. Um, oh, I watched like a VR interview thing. Is that technically a VTuber thing? It was like where a guy in VR like interviewed like a army veteran.
I've
It's
seen
really
that
interesting.
video. I don't think that's necessarily a VTuber though.
Okay, yeah, that's the kind of stuff I've seen.
Well,
But other than that, no VTubers. So you're the first.
and I'm honored, especially because I am so irrelevant.
No, no, we're all relevant in our own circles.
I suppose, but like it's become very interesting. Like it's definitely very anime inspired. It was definitely a wave that Japan created with who was the original chat? You know her name, right? Was it Kitsuna AI?
Oh, the original AI Twitter bot.
It wasn't a Twitter bot. It's an actual real person. It's just they
Oh,
used newly emerging technology to like rig their face with a model.
oh, interesting.
And
I don't know anything about all that.
Kizune AI, I think that was her
Okay.
name, and she was like a real person who like streamed and did that.
That
Uh,
sounds interesting.
and it was sort of a small thing until I think the first big breakthrough was when some guy under the pseudonym fuck, the pseudonym Yago created his own blend of Japanese idol culture and like stream culture, which he called Hololive. And
Oh yeah, I know about Hall. I've seen the memes about Hall Live. I don't know much about them.
I would recommend it. I only really learned, like, I got into Hololive after I learned that they made an English branch.
Do you think we could talk? Maybe if I get big enough, I can meet Aaron and Dan and talk them into becoming VTubers. That would be fun. I would watch that.
I don't know, like, especially since, I remember when Pokimane had the VTuber phase.
Oh
She
boy.
had her own model and stuff, and all I can say is, no, please don't. And it's, by the way, this isn't an attack on Pokimane herself and her character. It's more just you already have an established brand. People identify with that. Please don't try to like branch out like this. It's first and foremost, it's very inauthentic feeling.
Yeah, well, I think that's just her. But now I don't mind about making enemies with Pokimane, but I'm not voicing your opinions. These are my own opinions.
All, and I'm not even expressing ill will towards her. It's like it just
Yeah,
it.
no.
I'm just saying it felt so unnatural. Like there was no. It felt like she was doing it as sort of a publicity stunt.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
and the fact that she, to my knowledge, doesn't do it anymore is kind of proof of that. Like it's just
Yeah.
a one and done disposable thing. But yeah, VTubers are a very interesting community, especially since there's just a lot of creativity with it that you don't get with regular streamers. Like
Yeah.
you still
Yeah.
get facial reactions, which depending on the quality of the model and the camera and the whatever software you're using, uh, can be accurate or inaccurate. My model isn't the best. But it's also something that can be very genuinely creative. Uh, I've seen some really gorgeous and very unique looking models out there, and not to like jerk myself off, but mine is definitely one of the more unique ones.
Pretty unique.
Every time people see it, I always get a reaction. It's like always a reaction.
Nice.
And I don't even know if chat's actually seen the full model. I'll just show it to you.
Speaking of
Hey, yo,
reactions, that's
what?
kind of how I got into the whole weird like aesthetic that I got into, and it just kind of developed into what it is now. But originally, it was just weird, upsetting visuals because like I was like, at least this is getting a reaction from people. It's not like bland, like the same thing you've seen every day, kind of
Mm.
stuff. So I
That's
get what you're talking about.
I was curious. Like, one question I did have to ask is, do you have or know anyone who has schizophrenia?
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, I won't name names or anything, but like a lot of my like close online friends have schizophrenia legitimately.
I've
At
only
least
met
five
one
of them.
person with schizophrenia, and he talked about how, uh, if he didn't take his meds, he would likely punch his boyfriend.
Yeah, well, there's some are like that. A lot of schizophrenics aren't like violent at all. They're a lot more danger to themselves because like when you got shit like in your head that's like tormenting you all the time, you can become a suicide risk.
Hmm.
Like that's what
Reminds me
happened.
reminds me of a undisclosed family member who applied shotgun mouthwash.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Or
And
the
he did so because he was paranoid that people were out to get him, and
yeah, he might have been undiagnosed on like either bipolar or schizophrenia or something.
what didn't help was people around him who were sort of enabling these delusions, but I'm not going to
Yeah,
talk anymore about that.
yeah. But yeah, schizophrenia. Most of the schizophrenics are pretty cool. They're pretty chill for the most part. Whenever they get into like a hyper kind of mode, they can like stop making as much
Mm.
sense. Sometimes I'll have one of them say something to me that you're just like, whoa, I don't even know what this means. And they'll be like talking about like esoteric like religion stuff. But
That's
like
and
overall, go ahead.
that's something I've noticed with your memes is that like you definitely know when they're schizophrenic when they talk about like, and I guess this is why the term schizo is becoming internet slang, especially for like conspiracy theorists, when it feels like it like dives deep and overthinks like mundane things. Like there was one particular meme, and I even commented on it. It was something that you posted in your community channel. It was a picture of like a cat sitting on a dashboard.
Yeah.
And it didn't have any of like the filters or any of the glitch or VHS effects on it. It was just red lines circling around the cat and circling around the car in front, saying the cat isn't on behind the wheel. And it's
Yeah,
like,
I remember that. Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like, from my very limited knowledge, this feels like the most genuine schizo post because it takes something which ultimately looks very normal and not too out of place, but it's about diving deeper into it and like creating these, I guess, alternate takes on what's really going on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of. I mean, I don't have schizophrenia. I struggle with anxiety some, and I
Oh
used to
god,
have.
yeah, anxiety, tell me about it.
Yeah. I used to actually have like paranoia, but it wasn't like delusions or illusions. So it wasn't like anything like actual like schizophrenia, but I had like pretty bad. I would like hear an airplane going overhead, and I would like be convinced that that was like the sound of like an asteroid falling, and we were all gonna die, and that kind of shit.
Hmm.
It was really bad. I was like really paranoid that like the world was gonna end.
I was like that
But
too with global warming. That was,
oh
oh god, that was early teens was me
yeah.
panicking about global warming.
Yeah. Um, I've kind of gotten over that. I don't really have much anxiety anymore, like more than a normal person. Maybe a little bit more, but it's more like I'm just kind of a worrier now. I guess I've just grown out of it. Maybe I've gotten so used to worrying that like I've learned to like just filter the thoughts out.
Like
I don't know.
you're just tired of giving a shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. You just
Yeah,
get like
like the only thing that makes me
desensitized.
anxious anymore are like social situations.
Yeah. Well, I've even gotten over that in the last 2 years. I finally I'm really good at small talk. I'm really good at talking with you.
Hmm.
I wouldn't have been able to do that like 2 years ago, but I've been like watching like shows and movies with people in a small Discord for about a year and a half, 2 years, and that's really helped. And I talk with people at work a lot now.
I
So
see.
anybody that's like having social anxiety and stuff like that, just like it's kind of like getting used to like cold water in a pool. You just kind of got to start out and just go in slow and keep getting used to it.
Exposure therapy, which
Yeah,
is what
yeah,
helped me a lot with my anxiety, and I even use it a lot on friends of mine, including my girlfriend, and that's kind of how she became my girlfriend, was because of how much I was helping her mentally.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. So
Uh,
you know all about that stuff. Yeah,
yeah. Uh,
yeah.
Now, in regards to your content, one other question that I did have was, and this was something you posted in your community tab a long, long time ago, but it always stuck with me. And it was a diagram showing meme eras, and
Oh yeah.
the era we are in right now is referred to as the post-ironic era.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
And
we're definitely post ironic.
what is post-irony?
It's irony that's gone all the way back around to where you're not sure if it's serious yourself anymore. And some people aren't going to like this example because he's pretty controversial. Sam Hyde. Sometimes you can't even
Hmm.
tell if he's being ironic or not. You know what I mean? Like, is
I
he insane, or is he just pulling everybody's leg? That's kind
Yeah,
of post irony.
I think that's a fairly apt example, and it seems
Yeah,
like something which goes very hand in hand with schizocore.
yeah. Sam Hyde stuff definitely does. I don't associate my name with him, but like, yeah,
I
that
don't
same
either.
kind of vibes for sure.
Yeah, where you wonder if it's a joke or if it's genuinely serious, and it's
Yeah,
like you're laughing but you're nervous.
yeah, yeah. I mad respect to Sam Hyde though, because like all these years he has not broke character enough, at least enough to where like people are like, oh yeah, all of this part that he said here is for sure a joke and this isn't. He's always stayed in character all these years enough to like keep
Yes,
people guessing.
in every public shooting he's ever committed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh dude. So like I tried that. I like would only comment Baba Booey on stuff for like a year or something like that. But I like finally broke character because I was like, man, that's just really hard to like keep that commitment and like not comment on something that you really want to comment on.
Can we get some Baba Booies in chat?
Baba Booey.
Uh,
So
where did that come from, by the way?
just came to me. Just that same thing with the name Textile George. Textile George just came to me in a dream one time. And I was like, oh,
hmm,
okay, I need the name. And the name Textile George, the channel or the YouTube account was actually named Textile George for like 3 years before I started the YouTube channel because it was my personal YouTube account.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, I was going to say. Oh yeah, so I actually do know the origin of the phrase Baba Booey.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, I know the origin of it. I
Howard
guess
Stern's
like
penis.
yeah, Baba Booey, Howard Stern's penis. They used to say it on Howard Stern, and maybe that's where it came from. Like I heard it
It's
either from
I.
Family Guy or
Oh
on
yeah,
Howard Stern.
Family Guy did, because like everything, Family Guy is kind of unoriginal and steals stuff. But
Yeah.
the origin is this New York guy who, I don't even know his name, but he always appeared on Howard Stern's show. And whenever he saw like a news team on the street, doing something live, he'd run up behind them and shout the phrase "Baba Booey, Howard Stern's penis." And it got to the point where they got like really good at cutting the feed immediately as he started saying it, because that's how often he would do it.
Yeah, man. It must have been like subconscious, like something like that. So
Mm.
I picked it as like a phrase, and I was like, I'm just gonna comment this, and I'm not gonna like say anything personal to like create the vibes and like enhance it and stuff like that. So I think it worked pretty good. I didn't stick to it, so in the long run, it didn't work out. But I think it enhanced the mood of the channel. It's like, man, is this guy really insane? No, I'm not actually insane. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we're bursting your bubble, and they know it. I already saw a few comments earlier saying that this isn't the real George.
Yeah, because I commented right before we started that the owner of this account died. Yeah.
I actually didn't see
So
that.
yeah.
I can't think of any other questions. I guess so. Going back to the eras of meme culture, because that is something that I have sort of softcore became obsessed with. Is like memes not as just something on the internet, but as an art form. Would you agree it's a form of art?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm. So you would refer to yourself as an artiste?
No, well, see, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not humble, but like, I maybe I just like don't have enough self-esteem, but I don't consider myself an artist. When
Mm.
I do call myself an artist to people, I put it in quotation marks. So,
Like a
you know,
in like a Gachamuchi sense?
yeah.
I'm an artist.
Oh God, yeah.
The dungeon master.
Performance artist. I know
Performance.
exactly what I'm trying to. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so I do consider memes art. I don't know that I would consider what I do art. Um, but that may just be like my low self-esteem as far as like being a creator
I.
comes.
It sounds kind of like you just being humble about it.
Maybe, I don't know.
Like
Uh,
I'd probably do the same if I were in your position. But one thing I want to ask is, how have like you experienced the change of memes as time goes on?
oh man, it's so weird. It's like, okay, when I joined like got on the internet in 2009, like memes moved so slow back then, but it wasn't like people got tired of them, you know. I would see like the dancing baby or the Numa Numa thing all the way up in like 2009, and it wasn't old or like boring. um I don't know why that is, but memes move so fast now and they've gotten so weird. I
I
love it. I love it, but it's
it
so weird that like how
it's
much they've
sort of
changed.
love hate for me. Like there's
Yeah.
only one way I can describe how I feel about memes these days, and that is as if I am some sort of an immortal being who, kind of like the Pillar Men, who have watched civilizations rise and fall just as a spectator in the background, watching as like weeds climb up the stones and force them to crumble to the ground and there's just nothing left. It's like I feel that in a week. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
when a
yeah, it's
trend
crazy.
goes and then it fucking dies, and then like a month later I'm like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Holy crap. That was
You
a
see, I'm not really into those kind of memes. I don't want to like seem like I'm up my own butt or sniffing my own farts or anything like that. But like, don't generally enjoy like those really explosive memes. I'll like it the first 2 or 3 times it's posted, but like when I see iterations and stuff, I'm just like, I'm done with this already. I'm
For
ready
me
to
it
like do something
depends,
else.
but I would have to say that while I am technically Generation Z, sometimes even I don't relate to Zoomers. Uh, like, and I like look at some of the stuff in your Discord, like talking about Clash of Clans, and that's when you realize you're old when like the kids are talking about that, and you're just like, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, and like.
yeah.
There's other
I,
like mobile game examples I've seen on your Discord where it's like it feels very niche to a
yeah.
specific audience. Oh shit, I'd never silenced my phone.
Oops.
Let me do that now. Uh but anyways, uh what I've found sort of fascinating is how like when people thought about memes back in the old days, they thought of rage comics because it was like a very specific format.
Rage comics, demotivational pictures.
It's like there were very specific narrow formats. It was sort of like
Oh yeah,
these are the things in the medium that we know work.
yeah, yeah. Like humor was like less developed.
Now the thing is that like memes are really, really well. Okay, here's the thing. I really like memes that do this, and a lot of the really big recent memes have not been that kind of meme. I really like meta memes that build on like memes and memes and memes. Like you have to know all these old memes to get it. You know what I mean?
I actually was looking up the phrase post-ironic, and everything about it has to do with post-ironic memes, and there was even a chart, and it also included something called meta-ironic memes. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about like meta is in like it's like referencing older memes, and like those older memes are referencing older memes, and you kind of have to know them all to get it.
Hmm. It becomes
Like
like
very
layers upon layers of esoteric
yeah,
in-jokes,
yeah, really esoteric stuff. Yeah, I
which
really
is
like that.
definitely a very 4chan phrase.
Yeah,
Layers of esoteric in-jokes. It's like, yeah, that's 4chan.
yeah, pretty much.
It's
Sneak
like
posting.
Sneak post.
Oh god, dude, I Sneed posting is so good. I love Sneed posting. I hope that never like gets really mainstream. It's kind of almost there, but like it's
That
not. I don't think
that's
it will.
that is something which I have become very sort of adamant and cemented with is when something goes mainstream, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think that's why, well, part of the reason why people like you and me like really weird, complicated video games is because we know that they're gonna stay niche.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I just really like complex stuff. I kind of wish. Well, see, no, I guess I don't. I guess I hope they don't go mainstream because that would ruin them. Because anytime something goes mainstream, it's gonna like get dumbed down so they can maximize profits and stuff like that.
That's
Uh,
that's something else I've learned is business and art don't mix.
oh
Like
yeah,
fundamentally different objectives which very rarely align.
oh yeah,
Like when something
yeah.
goes mainstream, they appeal to a broader audience and they lose what made them special. That is something I've Do you have
That happened.
particular examples that you know of?
Yes, Dark Souls. Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1 was so fucking good, and then it got popular because of memes about how hard it was, and then every game after that. And I don't care, people in the comments. I don't care if you like the later games, you're wrong. All the games after Dark Souls 1 suck.
So my V sister, which is a phrase for someone who also had the same artist and rigor, uh, I stream with her a lot, and she talks about how she prefers Dark Souls 3 because Dark Souls 1 is so hard. And I'm like, but
Oh,
isn't that the point?
that's the point. It's and also like Dark Souls 1 did a thing that like Elden Ring does it a little bit in it, but like in like individualized cells within an open world, which I think keeps it from having a good focus. Dark Souls 1 like has a like Metroidvania in 3D. It's the only game I've ever seen that takes Metroidvania like map building and like exploration and puts it in a 3D format and makes it work in an ARPG that isn't like Metroid
Hmm.
Prime. It's basically a Metroidvania 3D ARPG. But
I wonder if
I've been playing
that's
it all afternoon.
because
I,
you may be describing a similar game which is going to come out. Have you ever heard of an indie title called Hyperlight Drifter?
I think so. I've heard of it. I
It's
don't remember anything about it.
it's an amazing game. Amazing soundtrack, amazing combat, amazing story which is told without any dialogue whatsoever.
Oh, I love that.
Oh yeah. Like the dialogue quote unquote is you press a button above people's heads and you get like a flash of pictures which tells you a very vague story. And like you get this vague idea of what's going on. It's like you see this gigantic metal titan just fallen, collapse, resting on the side of a mountain in the distance. And you're like, what the fuck happened here? And then as you progress, you end up climbing that mountain and you're face to face with this giant metal skull just inactive, covered in
Wow.
snow. And it's like, what
This
the
sounds like something I need to play.
Hyperlight Drifter was an amazing game, and it's getting a sequel. I think it's what's it called? It's Hyperlight Blaster or something.
I have to check that out for sure. I'm trying
Hyperlight
to see what's
Breaker,
coming
which
right
is
now.
3D,
Oh,
and Uh, when it was announced, I was very excited because I had heard that they were making a sequel for a long time, and it looks so interesting. They've taken a pixel art 2D game and they've made it cel shaded 3D and given you a hoverboard, and it just looks so interesting. And plus, Hyper Light Drifter was just so good. It was so unbelievably good. Holy shit, it was good.
Okay, can I make a game recommendation to you?
Of course.
Yeah. Do you like grand strategy or like 4X games, or are you just like into like the smaller like as tactical and like RPG games?
The only 4X game I've ever dipped my toe into is Endless Space. In fact,
Okay.
for my anniversary stream, I did an 8-hour endurance stream of Endless Space 2.
Interesting.
Going until 4 a.m.
Oh Lord. Um, so there's a really niche game, and it's really really good, but it's niche. And it's like a 1 or 2 man team that made this game. It's definitely an indie game. It's called Dominion 6, and a good buddy of mine introduced it to me, and it's absolutely incredible. There's like a magic system, and it's like it feels like almost like a roguelike put into like a 4X, in that there's so much you can do. It's incredible. You can like if you're one of your commanders like loses an eye or something like that, you can train in like magic and make an artificial eye for them. If they lose like a limb, you can like graft a limb on for
And it's
them.
called Dominion 6.
Yeah.
I am
Or
not seeing it as a...
sorry, Dominion 5. I'm sorry. 6 is what I'm hoping comes out sometime next year.
Oh, I see. It's
Yeah,
real...
now the graphics aren't pretty.
Yep.
But I'm a
Oh,
big...
oh wow, the graphics really aren't pretty. This is like...
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's a grand strategy 4X game, but like it also has auto battles, but it's not like regular auto battles where like at least not like the ones that I'm used to, like in Flash games where you just send out wave after wave. You actually set up your troop formation and your commanders like instructions beforehand, and then
Sort of like, sort of, but not completely like tabs, right?
I don't know. I haven't played that.
Totally accurate battle simulator.
Yeah, no, I haven't played it.
I know you can't give commands, but you do sort of like set up formations and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
watch the battles play out in real time.
yeah. That's pretty much how this is.
South, can you shut the fuck up?
Is he giving you trouble?
He's being an attention whore. He's like, start talking about South, start talking about South. No. Just for
This is
saying
why you're banned from the server, South. You're unbearable, bud.
You know what?
Sorry.
Just because of that, I'm refusing to talk about you. Go fuck yourself.
We kind of just did, but whatever.
And that's the only attention we're gonna give he who shall not be named. Anyways, what were we talking about? We were talking about niche
Minions.
video games. We were talking
Yeah.
about Dominions. And we were also talking about the state of memes as well as like... Okay, here's an interesting question. What do you think the future holds for meme culture?
Oh, dude, if I knew that, I'd be a rich man. I'd be like making those future memes.
You'd be making the next TikTok.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be weird. I'm sure I'm pretty sure when election season comes around, that's pretty much all we're gonna see for a while.
Possibly, although I don't think we're ever going to get the same amount of meme magic that we did during the 2016 election.
That was legendary.
That was so surreal. I remember staying up late at night, scrolling through Twitter on my phone, looking through the timelines of people who are saying, we're going to have our first female president, to just breaking down and just going full just tirade mode.
Yeah.
And I specifically recall what South Park did that week. I specifically recall because it's a joke that you would never have gotten unless you were paying attention to Twitter at that moment.
Yeah.
And it was share. Because the joke in that episode was Cartman and Heidi, I think, were like going to go to Mars, so they're going to SpaceX, and they want to like sign up for it, and apparently it's already like backed up, and one of the people there is Cher.
That's awesome.
Because she made a comment a while back saying, if Donald Trump wins, I'm gonna have to leave the country, and then she backed that up saying, if Donald Trump wins, I'm gonna have to leave the planet.
Oh boy, yeah.
So it's like,
I love stuff like that. And I think Trump actually mentioned like a meme at one point. Did he mention Pepe? Was that what happened? Or no, he said that it's called trolling. We do a little trolling.
We do a little trolling,
Yeah.
which is a phrase that has recently come back into memes. I think it's died off a little bit now, but
for sure, troll like all of like trolling and troll G, and that's part of the reason like I got big is because one of my first like original, it wasn't original content, it was like an edit, was the end of Trollface, that video. That was like one of my first edits that I did, and I like added music to it and I added some effects to it.
And I think I know one. That was Everywhere at the End of Time. You introduced you introduced me to that album.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I did for a lot of people. That was a very popular video. And see, I got in on that really early on into like the renaissance of like Trollface that we've seen since then, which I'm so happy for. I wish Rage Comics would come back. They've come back a little bit,
but
it's nothing compared to like Trollface. Trollface is like everywhere again, and I love it.
I know. I remember a point in time where like even mentioning it was cringe.
Yeah,
but it's like it's coming back, but it's coming, and like this is how I know that, and this is what I think is going to happen in the future of memes is it's going to be a cycle for every new meme that comes out, or like specifically every new meme with staying power, which will eventually die because memes always do, but they will come back. But when they
I hope Big Chungus comes back. That's my. I know that's really lame, but I still love Big Chungus. It's so stupid.
I think it's gonna come back, and here's my prediction for Big Chungus as well as Among Us, and I would
Ugandan Knuckles. Do you think that'll come back?
Yes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I would say Jerma, but at the same time, I think Jerma's already reached that point already. Like he already skipped the step of dying, and that is that. Just like with Trollface, Reddit 100. And that is, like, every, so, in order to get into this, I actually need to go back to my example of, like, Clash of Clans and how, like, and Fortnite and stuff, like, things that Zoomers are playing, you know, usually on their phones when they should be paying attention in class. What's gonna happen to these Zoomers 10 years down the line, 5-10 years down the line, once they graduate high school, once they go into college or university, and the real stress begins, and I actually have to start being an adult, and suddenly, everything is
dark and edgy.
So, Trollface was something that came around when I was in high school. I am now, hopefully, going to be in my final 2 semesters of college.
Nice.
And between then and now, there was a gap where it didn't exist, and now that it's back, it's a lot darker.
Oh, yeah.
It's darker, and it's more real. It's more post-ironic, if you see.
Way darker. Dude, Trollface was it... The like, darkest Trollface originally got was those troll comics where they would, like, teach you how to, like, make meth, but it actually, like, made a explosion. That kind of shit. Or it like made mustard gas. There were several of those that floated around on B for years.
Yeah, I remember those. The guy who got tricked into making mustard gas.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's stuff like that that makes it so that whenever I mention 4chan to normal people, they're just like,
oh my god, yeah.
Like they look at me like I have paranoid schizophrenia or some shit. It's like,
that's fine. I don't like 4chan's already too popular. I like, you know, they're the rule 1 and 2 exist for a reason, and like that the rule 1 and 2 of 4chan is don't mention 4chan and don't mention 4chan because like it got too popular. It's kind of declined in quality over time. I attribute that to it being popular. At least on certain boards like V and B are like awful now. R9K was never good.
R9K was never good indeed. I
Yeah.
posted on there once, and I got everyone
God.
seething at me.
R9K, everyone I've ever known that started posting there like got a lot worse in their mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like cartoons and comics, that actually some absolute retards thought that rating Tumblr back when that was a thing would be a good idea, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna show them," and it actually turned out that like they rated them and they upset a lot of people, and so Tumblr rated 4chan, and then like all these people from Tumblr rated 4chan and went to to like raid, and they were like, "Oh, hey, it's pretty nice here." They're like actually talking about stuff, and they
Oh god,
stayed.
oh
And
god,
so,
oh god, and then
yeah,
they
oh,
stayed.
yeah.
No, we got the Tumblr people to stay!
Yeah, so now like is like full of like a lot of migrated Tumblr people.
You know,
especially now that it's shut down.
that would explain why 4chan has gotten so much more gay over the years. Like actually,
yeah,
actually homosexual gay, especially.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I think it's because of the migration of like Tumblr users.
Maybe like
especially after it shut down.
my all-time favorite legendary video to go back to, posted on Neckbeardia, was the bunny suit thread on K.
Oh boy,
Where
I don't know if I've seen that.
So it starts out with a simple question: would it be against the Geneva Convention if we put POWs in bunny suits, like specifically Playboy bunny suits? And
Oh no,
like it might have been the third comment that decided to immediately take it to extreme. Would it be against the Geneva Convention if we took POWs, put them on estrogen, and turn them into comfort girls?
oh god.
It immediately spiraled out from there. At some point, it got into a heated debate about whether or not having sex with a woman is more gay than having sex with a man, and whether or not tomboys or femboys are superior.
It's tomboys that are superior, by the way, just in case anybody was wondering. Yeah, don't me.
What about a butch femboy?
No, tomboys all the way. I need my fishing girlfriend. My fishing GF. Dipper fishing GF with rebel flag.
With the hat.
With the hat, yeah. There's an Evangelion circling all the way back to Evangelion. Have you seen that meme? It's like Rey, and she's like got
she's got the hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm alone on this barren earth. My girlfriend is a tomboy, by the way.
Based.
I know. I was lucky. I was so lucky. And she's actually another VTuber as well. Felicity Hayami on Twitch.
Cool.
Australian tomboy. But I will warn you, she is a Doom poster.
Oh boy.
Because she has so many health problems.
Yeah.
But that's also why, like, I find it hard to just leave her, because it's like, she needs me.
Yeah.
But hey, I feel useful for once in my life. But I'm not going to talk too much about that.
Yeah.
Now, I was wondering at some point, did you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I wanted to know how you ended up getting into like into this kind of stuff and like what your inspirations were.
What kind of stuff are you referring to specifically? Because there's a few different layers to that.
Content creation.
Like,
where did you start on content creation? Is this YouTube channel like your first like iteration of?
Yes.
Like,
well, okay, the first that I will acknowledge exists.
Okay, that's fair.
I hope my voice has deepened enough since my first attempt.
Oh boy. You're not the kid that screamed about Sonic now, are you?
Oh no. But I do have high functioning autism. Okay. Let's just put it that way.
All right, that's fair enough. I have to say though, I have absolutely mad, unironic respect for Sonic autists. I love those guys. I wish I was that passionate about anything, and I love reading about their passion. Like it really does bring joy to me.
Mm. Sonic is just such a weird thing. It's
It is.
like, I wonder, would you say that Sonic is a meme?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, it was a meme, like, that arguably it predated the internet, or at least Web 2.0?
Oh yeah, it definitely. It was always like, it was at least a phenomenon.
Yeah, but it's just so weird how it struck such a deeply ingrained core
Oh yeah,
in a lot
yeah,
of
like
people. It was,
it's like their life.
and it's just so weird. It like, and here's a quote I heard from Negbiri, and I agree with it 100%. You're not, like, the thing that separates people from being cringe is whether or not they are self-aware.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And you look at some of these Sonic OCs, and you're like, do these people have
Oh,
any
God,
self-awareness?
There's no self-awareness in some of those. Absolutely not. Some of them are. Now Sonic, sometimes you see, like, if you've noticed on the Discord, someone made a Sonic OC of my profile picture, and I've been using that as my profile picture on the Discord. So we've entered, like, post-ironic Sonic autism now.
I've seen the face of God, and it was weeping.
Yeah. So yeah, I love Sonic. I do actually love Sonic. I grew up with, like, Sonic, but I, like, never got into Sonic like these people did, you know. But I, like, respect it. I respect it a
Yeah,
lot.
I'm glad I didn't get into Sonic. I feel like I dodged a bullet because it's like I already have high functioning autism, and I was a brony.
Oh Lord, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about, like, growing up on, like, Disney movies, like The Fox and the Hound, or not The Fox and the Hound, Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Man, I dodged a bullet on that one because I definitely felt, like, some funny feelings about, like, Meg Marion or whatever her name is.
Oh yeah.
But, like, for some reason, it never really stuck with me, and I'm
good.
Really
Otherwise, you'd be watching come out of fursuits right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing that didn't stick. I dodged some real bullets.
Yeah, but as for how I got started, I guess I always sort of had a lot of thoughts which I couldn't express to a lot of people. So I would just talk to myself constantly. And after like being exposed to the internet, I sort of turned that train of thought into, I guess you would say, video essays.
Okay,
and, like,
cool.
When I think about a game I just played, I think about it in the form of, like, a review I do, and I sort of picture that situation. And I still do that to an extent. I posted one video essay, and it's done surprisingly well. Part 2 is going to come out at some point before the heat death of the universe, by the way. Anyways, but I don't think I really started until it was sort of a combination of a few different factors. Like how I came up with this model, for example, was a combination of a bunch of different factors. And actually, earlier, people were like, what the flying fuck when they looked at my model. Do you have any idea what this is supposed to be?
It's like a really it's like okay, is it Attack on Titan Centaur?
The very first thing someone commented on Twitter when my original rigger artist posted the sneak peek of my model, it was in Indonesian. Hey, someone got it. Crimson Chaos. Crimson Chaos got it. But the original comment, it was in Indonesian, so I couldn't read it, but because Indonesia uses the Latin alphabet, I understood one word, Titan, and I immediately said, okay, I have to make a Twitter account now, and I have to fucking clear this up.
Alright.
And every now and then, people say, is that supposed to be Attack on Titan spread? And I'm like, no.
I didn't. Well, to be fair, I like kind of just took your. I made a guess just now because you asked, but like when I saw it, I just kind of took it as what it is. And I was just like, all right, yeah, that's his thing. All right.
But yeah, Crimson Chaos got it. I am a Knuckle of V.
Knuckle of V.
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
That is what the Scottish call us.
Oh, okay.
And we also have a very, very, very racist SCP article written about us.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, where they bring us out to be some kind of monsters.
Interesting. So is it like a fantasy race, or like what is it?
According to legend, we are water demons which come to the surface to cause famine.
Ah, interesting.
And
I love stuff like that.
yeah, this was way back in Mibe is, or Mabby, fuck, is gonna look up the SCP thing. Is it in the 2000s series? I don't know. All I know is it's full of shit. And it's racist slander, and I even tweeted to the SCP Twitter about it a while ago, saying, basically being a Karen as part of a joke. That's ancient history at this point, though. Yeah, SCP-3456. No, is that actually the number?
3456.
It might be, but I know it's over 1,000.
It's over 9,000.
Yeah, the Orcadian Horseman. Yeah, that's
a meme that never came back. It's over 9,000.
every now.
How can we bring that back? Is dark. We need to like brainstorm and be ahead of the curve.
I'm thinking, but all I can think of is like edgy stuff like 9/11 memes.
Yeah.
Like it has to be something like, I don't know.
Something you can apply to other things other than like a specific topic.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Apply it to a global food shortage. Like something which is very existential.
I love that meme where the guy gets genie wishes and he's like double world hunger. Love that. Have you seen that?
No, but it's so.
Man,
oh god, there's another thing. I remember in your community tab. It was an Australian who gets one wish.
Oh no. Oh yeah, with the shopping cart. Yeah. That's a good one.
I love how whoever made that meme used the picture of the Australian shit poster, which only just added to it because it's like
absolutely.
Even when being given a wish, the Australian must shit post.
That stuff.
And I just softcore pissed off my girlfriend now.
I see that, yeah.
Don't worry, I know how to embarrass her. Trust me. My girlfriend hates Vegemite.
Dude, I wanna try Vegemite.
Like, have you ever tried Marmite?
No, I haven't tried any of those. I can't find them around here. I mean, I live in Kentucky, so you know.
Interesting. There's got to be some sort of an Australian import store somewhere.
There's a European food store somewhere like within 100 miles of here, but like, would that count? Like, I mean, Australia's a European settlement.
Well, I mean, let's just say that from what my girlfriend has told me, Australia is absolutely fucking Detroit, but continent-sized.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna go too in detail with it, but let's just say she had a really rough childhood.
I would love to live in Australia in Queensland. Or not Queensland, Tasmania. I would love to live in Tasmania, out in like rural area.
I don't know, like, I don't know. I've heard Australia being considered, like, in MMO terms, the late game zone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Full of all the, like, the high level enemies.
but it's so uncrowded, and like I don't know. I feel like the world's too crowded. And like
Mm.
Australia is like one of the few places you can go, and it's like there's not a lot of people after you leave the city. Now, I would never live in an Australian city, but like you go out in the middle of nowhere, you go like 100 miles, and you'll be like pretty much by yourself, other than like the atrocious wildlife.
Yeah, you just see the absolute nothingness of the outback.
I would not go outside without a gun. In fact, I would keep a gun close to me anytime I was inside
Are
because
you
like
are
I
you a gun
heard
owner? Just check.
I am not. I'm gonna get my first gun here in August.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I am spoilers. I'm Canadian. If you couldn't tell by the flag on my sleeve,
Oh
which
yeah.
which I specify. Can you put that on my model so that people don't confuse me for being American? Because I
Yeah.
because
Your accent is really close to like a Midwestern accent. A lot of Canadians are like that. Yeah.
it's so hard to like. It's so hard to differentiate.
Oh yeah.
And that is, by the way, something I would say about Canadians culturally is if you're to ask me what it means to be Canadian, it means not being American. It means trying to differentiate yourself as much as possible. Try to be as countercultural to America as possible, while
Just like
also,
embrace it and become like America, but cooler though.
I mean, we
That would
are.
be rad. No.
But no, seriously, like it's
Australia was America, but cooler there for a while, at least musically.
mm, but seriously, it's like it's about trying your hardest not to be culturally assimilated into America, I feel, is one way
That's
of
fair.
describing it. And people like every American talks about how Canadians act so differently. Like there's like this fine cultural boundary that does not leak over the border.
Yeah, I don't know. I live really far from Canada, so I've never like I don't know if I've ever met a Canadian in real life.
Mm.
Y'all are mythical creatures as far as us Kentuckians are concerned.
I've heard lots of interesting stories about like uh like cryptids in Kentucky.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's some weird stuff out there, man.
Um my
I've not seen one myself, even though I'm a really avid outdoorsman. And I spend a lot of time outdoors. I've not
mm,
seen one, but sometimes you go out in the weird woods and you hear some weird stuff.
yeah,
Usually it's like a deer making a weird noise, but they you hear weird
if there's
stuff.
one thing I've learned from playing the forest is that deer make really weird fucking noises.
Oh yeah,
And
and
they do
turkeys too.
and they do so at night, which I don't, have you ever played the forest?
No.
That game is a legit fucking horror game. Like, okay, there are so many games that have like a day-night cycle, but it's always a full moon, and you can always see everything in the darkness because it's a full moon. The forest says "fuck you." You can only see like 2 feet in front of you,
Oh
and like,
yeah.
oh, we can give you you can make a torch. You can wrap some cloth around a stick to make a torch, and that'll give you about 2 meters. Also, this peninsula you're on is full of fucking cannibals, which have
Oh
really,
no.
dodgy AI, which the developers left in because it makes it scarier when they run up to you and then run away again, because it makes them so fucking unpredictable.
That's funny.
Oh, and oh god, in the caves, fuck. Also and I can't wait for the Forest 2 to come out. The Forest also has the. I don't even want to spoil it too much, but let's just say not all the enemies are. Some of them are like genuine fucking body horrors.
Oh boy.
Oh, and like,
You need to send me like a DM link of like all your like recommended games because I just got the
oh,
Steam Deck and it's like my first like I didn't have a modern computer until now and so
mm,
now I've got all these like games I want to play and I don't know where to start.
yeah, you'll have to remind me, but yeah. Actually, hell, if anything, you want to be on stream sometime?
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Yeah, cause and it's something that I've been playing a lot recently, cause season 2 came out for it. Splitgate. You ever heard of that one?
No, I haven't.
Uh, Objectively, people would say it's a Halo knockoff, and it is very heavily Halo inspired to the point where a lot of the weapons look very much like Halo. Hell, the sniper rifles have a 4-round magazine, and the rocket launcher has a 2-shot magazine. But there's one very crucial key difference. You get a portal gun.
Oh, ooh, that sounds interesting.
So, imagine an arena shooter, but there's no man cannons that launch you in the air. Instead, you have to place a portal on an angled surface, and then you have to jump from a tremendous height, and then at the last minute before you hit the ground, there's no fall damage, you put a portal on the ground, and then you launch yourself at terminal velocity.
Oh, that sounds really fun.
Now
I
imagine,
want to play that.
imagine, you're in a firefight with someone, but you're already low health and you're probably gonna lose. You put a portal behind them, you go around the corner, put another portal, and suddenly you're behind them.
Oh, awesome.
Now,
That sounds like a blast. I need to play that.
and
I'm not very good at FPSs though.
I would say I'm not either, but I can frag sometimes. It's definitely a game where you will at least once in your life get 5 kills in a row.
That sounds nice.
Then there's a specific map which has so much open area in it that it's become a sniper haven. It's one of my favorite maps for that reason. And you essentially have sniper duels that happen through portals, where you shoot through your portal and their portal.
Oh my goodness.
And like you have to reposition your portals to get different angles on people, and you don't always even see them either. You just see their portal and you just shoot at it and hope it hits.
Wow.
Actually, that was the last game I streamed. If you want to watch me rage, like if you want to see what I look like when I'm genuinely fucking angry.
Yeah, that's why I have respect for you, because I could not stream video games, at least not competitive ones. There's no way. I get so upset sometimes, and I get more upset when other people are watching, because I feel like I'm making an idiot out of myself. You know.
Well, I mean, you are, but that's what people like. That's
Yeah.
content. That's fucking
Yeah,
Tyler.
I guess that's what Game Grumps is built on. Is being bad at video games.
That's Tyler 1 right there.
Yeah.
That's PewDiePie saying a very specific word.
Oh yeah, yeah. But
God, like
I don't know.
I went from liking PewDiePie back in the really early days before he showed his face to hating PewDiePie after he got big, then to liking him again after like so many Karens just shat their pants over him accidentally saying something and immediately apologizing for it.
PewDiePie. I guess it was because he's popular, and I was like, at the time I was like, popular thing bad, which I guess I still am a little bit.
I still am too. It's like, oh god, probably my most well-known example of this I can think of is Overwatch.
Oh yeah,
it's like I had
bad though.
Like when I saw the original trailer way before the game was even in beta, I said, "Oh, this looks interesting." Fast forward a few months, Tracergate. Okay, I'm avoiding this game. I'm avoiding it like the fucking plague. Because if people are going to make this much of a fuss about like nice succulent ass, then no. No.
That game was like surrounded by like BS the whole time, and it wasn't. It was like it. We still have TF2. Why the fuck are people playing this? TF2 still exists. It's better. Play it.
Bots.
No, I love TF2.
I never got into TF2, honestly. Although, I don't know. Maybe it's because my first exposure to it was the orange box.
That might be fair. I got into TF2 in like 2011, and it was pretty much my life for like a year. I was a admin for the Carolina Gamers Association's TF2 servers, and we had a mod for that was War 3 source mod, and it would add like special abilities and stuff. It was really interesting, and that was like basically my life for a whole year, and I have like 1,000 hours in the game or something like that.
And I even posted this on your Discord, my opinion about Save TF2, and that is the bargaining stage of grief.
Yeah. No, dude, TF2's still around. You can go look.
I mean, it's not like Valve has deleted the game from existence, right.
But everyone's complaining about there being too many bots and the matchmaking being broken is stupid because who even uses the quick match anyway? You don't use quick match. You go to the community, you go to the servers, and you go to the community servers, and then you find a good community server. You don't use the official servers anyway. They're all garbage.
Yeah,
So like,
it's a problem, but at the same time, I look at TF2 and I see a game which has been around for over a decade now, and like,
dude, the best part about TF2 is you can go on there today, and they may be different people, but it's the same kind of guys making the same kind of jokes, and not in a bad way, but like it's just like it attracts a certain kind of person that I find really likable, and they're still playing it to this day, and I can go on there, and it's
yeah.
still the same kind of guys making the same goofy jokes.
As for what I was about to say, I hate using this word because I think it's such bullshit, but when I look at the TF2 community and this protest, people are gonna hate me for saying this, but one word comes to mind, that is entitled.
Yeah, I honestly don't like support that whole like fixed TF2 thing because like I said, I don't think it's broken. I think people just a lot of like casuals don't understand that you don't match.
As for me, my big gripe is you're asking people to work on the exact same game over and over again for over a decade. Like,
Well, I mean, they can hire new people to do it.
I
If
mean,
the old people get burned out.
uh,
If they're still making money, then why not?
I
And
guess,
they
but
are.
like, and this is also part of the reason why Dead Rising 4 was such an absolute dumpster fire.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I'll go into that later maybe, but what I was gonna say was, for TF2, like, it's been around for a decade, and Valve has actually started making video games again. They made Half-Life Alyx, and
Yeah.
they even said that for the first time in forever, the Valve team is actually excited, and they want to continue making more Half-Life stuff. So it's like, we are literally this close to Half-Life 3. They even teased it at the end of the credits sequence of Half-Life Alyx, and when I saw that in VR, because I played it, I screamed.
Oh boy, dude! I wonder if I still have it in some old folder somewhere. I have like a Halfway Life 3 was announced meme that like someone posted and was like, "Everybody save this for when it actually happens," and that was like 2012.
Jesus Christ. So, oh god. So there was a video that went viral roughly before Half-Life Alyx came out, and it was a video of a guy, like, filming his son, who was like maybe 10, getting to the end of Half-Life 2 with tears in his eyes, and explain to his son they haven't made a third game yet.
Oh,
And
okay, you might hate me for this, but I actually didn't enjoy the Half-Life games. I played them, but like I was just like, yeah, they're okay, but like I don't see what the big deal is. I don't know.
I think you're not the first person I've heard say that, and to that I say, and this is something I do think of when it comes to art, which is it's a product of its time.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Like,
if I'd played it when it first came out, it might have been different.
like,
But
and this is also the same thing with authors like H.P. Lovecraft, who is a pioneer of modern horror as a medium, but everyone knows what Cthulhu is. Because,
yeah,
and cosmic horror is everywhere, and it's become mundane, it's become part of the existential dread everyone lives with their entire lives. But the thing is, it's like that because of how good he was. Same with
true.
Half-Life.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Same with
Yeah.
Half-Life. Half-Life was so revolutionary with physics and breakable objects and vehicle sections and shit like that, that every video game did that. Like, before Half-Life came out, I don't know if ragdolling even existed. I think Half-Life wouldn't have
I
been...
don't think it did.
Yeah, so, like, in old games, like PS1 games, when enemies die, it's always the same stock animation, and when you look at when modern games do that again, it feels so cheap. It feels so
Yeah.
inorganic compared to, like, ragdolling.
Yeah.
And, again, it's like, you need to understand the context. Half-Life came out in 2004. What other games came out in 2004?
Man, what did come out in 2004? I don't even know.
Like that was
I'm bad at like time frames.
like original Call of Duties, I think.
Was it?
Like
Dang.
that would have been like, and
That
I
would have been like no, Pikmin came out in 2001. So let's see.
Pikmin is a decent enough benchmark. Like I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure around that time, like Call of Duty 2, Big Red 1, and Call of Duty 3 came out. Oh man, those.
Oh man, Call of Duty 3. I
Oh,
remember playing like the demo for that in Walmart.
mm.
Cody asks
Call
that
of
they
Duty
used to
3
have.
was my first exposure to online gaming.
Oh really? No,
Mm.
mine was way later than that. But I played I played it at Walmart, and I remember that and Sonic Adventure one for the Dreamcast are the two like big things that I remember about video games as a kid, and thinking like, whoa, look how real it looks. Which is funny, especially about Sonic Adventure now. But dude, when I saw Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast for the first time, I was blown away. Like it was round. That
Okay,
sounds so stupid, but
actually,
things were
Vast Man,
round.
I have to agree with you, Vast Man. I think I like Call of Duty 2 better than 3. Like, one of my favorite nostalgic parts of Call of Duty 2 was the mission where you got to fly in a B-17.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Uh,
See. My brother had the Medal of Honor games. We didn't really have the Call of Duty.
mm, Original Call of Duties are something different. Like, there's nothing like them anymore. And
New Call of Duty, man, it's a mess.
like, I think original Call of like at least when it came to the World War II shooters, the original ones died with like back then we called it Call of Duty 5. People call it World at War these days, but we call it COD
Yeah,
5 because that game had a much darker tone, and I think that was also like the first Call of Duty game that actually showed legitimate gore. Like you could blow someone's head off with a shotgun.
yeah,
Uh, but before that, original Call of Duties had this like very, I guess, a more softer, nostalgic feel to them, a like a of the era propaganda feel, where like the menus looked like old tattered propaganda posters, and the music had like brass instruments playing in this triumphant way, like something you'd hear on Remembrance Day.
oh yeah,
Then Call of Duty 5 came out, and it was just horror and bleakness.
yeah. There's there is like the zombie mode, which I enjoy coming out for the newer Call of Duties, but like I
Mm.
feel like Call of Duty's kind of like lost its way.
It lost its way so long ago. I think, and I will always say the peak was COD 4. That was the
That's
peak.
fair. See, I didn't play the earlier ones except for like as demos at like Walmart because one of the like staples of my childhood was that my mom took she loved going to Walmart back before social media. She would go to Walmart and like all her buddies would also go to Walmart all the time, and so like she would just meet her friends in like the aisles and talk for like hours.
Oh
And so
god.
I would go along with her,
Did
and
they
I would
dress like your typical Walmart patrons?
no, they always dress pretty, classy. But
Okay, no sweatpants or
this was
anything.
kind of like no. This was kind of like like what people. This makes me feel really old saying this, but that's kind of what like a lot of women did, like to or at least my mom's friends did to socialize. Is they would go to the store and like just walk around and like just browse and stuff and like see other people doing the same thing because that was really common,
Mm,
at least around here. And so I would just go to the electronics area and play the demos and stuff on
mm.
the electronics section. And so like that's like a huge part of my childhood in like video games for me is going to Walmart and playing those for like 3 or 4 hours like
Yeah.
several times a week.
Yeah, and I just yeah, again, one of Call of Duty. Okay, and here's something else I've noticed. I don't know how much modern Call of Duty games use anymore, but back in the old day, you were basically part of a squad, and they were all named characters that had like very specific personalities, and
Oh yeah,
when they died, you felt it.
right.
Like and like some of them had arcs, uh, and like character development, and it's like I don't think like even in Call
They
of Duty
definitely
4,
didn't
I
do that in Black Ops games, which are the only ones I really played a lot of.
yeah, it's like And I don't think a lot of shooters do it anymore. Even World War II shooters don't do that anymore.
No.
It's like,
It's all about the like personal experience and then just jump into
yeah,
online and shoot people.
like you would have like like the squad sergeant was typically the guy who was like level-headed and always in charge. Then you had people like Brooklyn and Guzzo. Guzzo had an interesting arc. He went from being like the defiant guy, who like didn't really want to be there, to becoming the new squad leader after the original one died and the guy who took his place died. And he ended up having to take command at a crucial point in, I think it was Chambois. Fuck, holy shit, I am unlocking so many old memories. Oh god. Yeah, Call of Duties aren't what they used to be, but I think people accepted that a long time ago, and those who left, left, those who stayed, stayed.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't even know why we got into this conversation in the first place.
I have no idea. No idea. We were talking about video games.
I mean,
What was your first video game? Do you remember or do you know?
Super Mario Sunshine.
Really? Oh man, that's a good one to have. As your
We
first
never
game.
got close to beating that game, me and my brother, because
Well,
we
part of
did
the
not
magic,
have gamer intuition back then.
yeah, but that's part of the magic because you're like, man, what did we miss? You know?
All I remember was I loved Rico Harbor.
Oh yeah.
I know that there's people who hate it, especially the blooper missions. Ugh.
Really, people don't like. Well, I guess I can get that.
Well, I mean, like,
I like
the missions where you surf on the blooper, and if you touch a corner, you fucking die. And they move really fast,
I
and they
never
got really...
really struggled with that too bad.
I've seen people rage. But I always liked Rico Harbor. I just liked the fact that you could climb on so many surfaces, and you had those, like, doors in the cages that flip you around. It always felt so cool to me.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
I stopped... I fell out of love with Nintendo around the time I matured. And realized...
I fell out of love with Nintendo, and then I fell back in love, and then here recently they've gone to shit, in my opinion, and I fell back out of love with them.
Sometimes I wonder what drives the decision-making at Nintendo. It's like... There's so many decisions which are beyond tone deaf, and you have to wonder who the fuck is running... It's like, is this place run by the manatees in that one South Park episode?
Yeah, I don't know. My big thing with them is that they just like it doesn't feel like they're putting quality first anymore, and like that was always what Nintendo was about.
Actually, oh god, that reminds me. So there's another VTuber, someone I hope one day to actually get to collab with, but for now it's just I sometimes see her in stream. Queenie Star, she's a big Nintendo fan, and not too long ago, she was doing a live reaction to the trailer drop of Splatoon 3.
Oh.
And at that moment, she became V.
Oh boy.
And I said, congratulations, you're finally a cynical gamer. You finally know what it means. You finally know what it means to buy into the hype and get severely disappointed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. See, I kind of the whole like new Nintendo thing started with the Wii. I know that like a lot of people, especially Zoomers, don't like to hear that because like the Wii was their childhood and leave Mario Galaxy and. I will say,
I did have fond memories of the Wii. Like I enjoyed playing Red Steel 2. And I don't care what anyone says, I will forever love Brawl. That was my smash.
Oh, I like Brawl better than 4 for sure.
I like
the Wii overall like was a real big step in the wrong direction for
Absolutely,
Nintendo.
absolutely. It's actually not the first time they've done stuff like this. And one thing I've noticed is that Nintendo has, even before the Wii, they had a habit of throwing things at the wall and seeing what stuck. It's why they lost the 5th generation, because they kept on with cartridges when everyone was moving to disc, And GameCube, it had discs, but you remember the GameCube discs.
Oh yeah.
Those things were tiny.
There were little mini discs.
I have to wonder how much storage space you can even have on there. I wonder how many third-party games had to be watered down for that system.
I think a lot of them. They had a lot of problem with that.
Yeah, and also one policy with Nintendo is they always use outdated tech to keep things cheap and affordable, but that also means it's low-quality tech, which means that actually one relatively recent example was Enter the Gungeon. Have you played that game?
No. I've seen video of it though.
Oh, it's fun. That is a fun roguelike. I have over 300 hours in it. Definitely worth it. But they had a big update, which was taking like almost a year to come out, and they explained that it's because they didn't realize how hard it would be to port to the Wii U.
Yeah.
Which, as it turns out, is very hard.
I imagine so.
Yeah, Wii U, by the way, like, people compared it to the Virtual Boy, which was another example of throw things at the wall and see what sticks.
Oh yeah, Virtual Boy was a flop. Wii U was a big flop too. But a big indicator for me for the Wii being like a decline in Nintendo was that the hardware itself wasn't as like shock proof. It wasn't as high a quality. Like you could just drop a Wii and it would hurt. You could kill somebody with a GameCube or an N64 and it would still work. I had an N64 survive a dorm fire, and it was like half melted and it still worked.
But the Wii was just delicate.
Yeah, the Wii was delicate. The Wiimotes weren't. The Wiimotes you could like kill somebody with probably.
Yeah, the Wiimotes weren't, but your
through a TV.
the Wiimotes weren't, but your plasma TV definitely was.
Oh yeah.
Then they added the wrist strap.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point they also added the condoms.
Yeah. But like the Wii had like hardware wise was like really delicate. Like there was that little hinge on the side to open it up to get to the GameCube ports that would like fall right off or break really easy. And it just wasn't a good time.
I think honestly the only reason the Wii succeeded is because there was nothing like it and it felt so futuristic.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it was hype. It was all hype.
It was hype. It was.
Like,
motion controls, they're so amazing. Meanwhile, half the games for the Wii didn't even use that.
Yeah.
Like, and like, it would take a decade before VR would be remotely viable.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was around the time of the Wii U that I became properly disillusioned, because it's like, I was hyped by, Mr. Lidzortes. Good night. Like, because I was getting really hyped about the new Smash. I think it was called Ultimate at the time. And then I realized, oh, I'm gonna have to get a Wii U. I don't want a Wii U. Because, like, by this point I had already gotten a computer. My brother gave me some hand-me-down parts, and I got my first battle station up and running, which I still have some of the original parts to this day, like the hard drives and stuff. But around that time, I'm like, I don't want a Wii U. So, turns out I dodged a bullet because Smash... Okay, how much of the Smash roster these days...
Anime characters?
Yeah, like, how many of the roster are JRPG characters?
Yeah, I hate that.
And how many, like, not even Nintendo JRPGs, like Fire Emblem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's
I can't stand it.
It's like, why the fuck is Bayonetta here?
Yeah. It's like they're real people, like, next to Mario and Sonic, and it's, like, really not... it doesn't jive well.
Like,
I don't like it.
Yeah, like, it's like, okay, Samus, fine. Snake, fair enough, I guess. That was definitely a nostalgia game from back in the olden days. Same with Pac-Man and Mega Man, so I guess you can include them, and they definitely fit the aesthetic. But it's like, why the fuck do we have Stripper Witch here? I thought this was a kid's game.
Yeah. And,
like, who the fuck else? Oh, and by the way, anyone who wants Goku in Smash can go fuck themselves.
I'd like... Okay, we got Minecraft Steve. We might as well put Goku in there for the memes at this point.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Steve would be a better fit than some of the characters that are already in there.
He is. He is. He's a better fit.
But it's like Brawl had like 2 cameos. That was really it. And now it's just there's so many,
Yeah,
and
they've lost focus. I think that, and they've said that they don't want to do as many on the next Smash. I would
yeah.
be really happy if they stick to first party stuff with the next Smash.
Honestly, yeah, like it reminds me of a joke I think Yahtzee said about how Mortal Kombat basically puts in whoever the hell answers their calls back. So it's like we get a xenomorph, we get who the fuck is the guy from Nightmare on Elm Street? Freddy Krueger. Yeah, they got Freddy Krueger. They got
Really?
yeah, Freddy Krueger was in Mortal Kombat as a DLC character. Same with the xenomorph.
What?
Same with the xenomorph from Alien.
Wow, they really do just get whoever calls them back.
Literally, it's whoever returns their calls they allow in the game. It's so fucking. Then
Absolutely.
again, that's kind of the charm of Mortal Kombat is like, just how sort of in-jokey it is.
Yeah. The only Mortal Kombat I really enjoyed was like this one for the PS2 that had it had a side mode or like an extra mode in it that was actually like a 2D scroller beat 'em up, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I never got into fighting games. Like Smash was an exception because Smash had a lot of things that fighting games don't. Like first and foremost, they actually made good use of a Y-axis. There were actually platforms. It wasn't just. Here's something I hate about fighting games, is like when you get to choose the arena to fight in, it's like they're literally all just different background wall.
Yeah.
It's just wallpaper.
I got into Soul Calibur 2 a lot. I like Soul Calibur 3 okay. I don't like any of the other ones as much, but I love Soul Calibur 2.
But yeah, Smash had platforms, but it also had like pretty much every stage had some sort of interesting quirk to it, and sometimes there were a lot of them like stages that change shape or like could literally kill you. But it's like it actually felt like each map was diverse and had their own sort of tactics. Also the items, which definitely added an element of unpredictability to it. That's probably also why they added tripping as a mechanic, which everyone hated.
Yeah,
but
I was not a fan. It wasn't like I wasn't upset about it like some people seem to be, but I wasn't a fan. If I'd been like really competitive about it, I might have been like
probably, but like, and that's one thing I will back up Nintendo on, because they didn't want Smash to be competitive, and neither do I. Like, I do not want Final Destination no items. Like, that sounds like you just want to make this into another fucking fighting game. You're taking everything away that makes Smash different.
Yeah. Who do you main in Ultimate?
I don't. Brawl was the last one, but
oh man, I main DDD.
I
main Pit in Brawl.
My favorite character. Oh, and this brings us to another topic which I totally forgot to talk to you about, but we'll get into that in a second. My favorite character was the first one I looked at in the roster and thought, this guy looks cool. Meta Knight.
Oh yeah, you know I like the idea of having Meta Knight in there. I don't like playing against or with Meta Knight. I think he's a really fun character to just have in a match.
Yeah, like in Brawl tournaments, he would be banned, and
oh yeah.
Still, I love playing Meta Knight. Even if he was broken, it's like I don't care. He's cool. It's like look at him.
I really wanted to be good at Kirby in Ultimate because I'm a big Kirby fan. But
yes,
like
that's exactly the topic I was going to talk about. Was one thing I've noticed a lot in your posts, and even your profile pic right now, is Gondola Kirby.
Yeah.
Would you say that is your number one Nintendo IP?
No, I wouldn't. I like Kirby. I like him as a character. I think his games are a little too simple. They've never really gone as far as they should with it. They've
Mm.
always played it too safe. Um,
That's something I've heard, is that out of all the Nintendo IPs, the Kirby games are the ones that have had like the least evolution.
oh yeah, definitely. And like even the new Kirby game, it's not really an evolution. It's if anything, it's actually almost a little bit of a de-evolution because
Mm.
like you're adding like a three-dimensional to it, but like as far as like adding like anything actually new other than like just putting it in the 3D space, there's nothing like really new about it
But
except for maybe that Kirby moves a little bit faster now, which is nice.
but you can but the car, don't you see the
Mhm.
memes with the car?
Yeah, that's just promotional stuff. For one, I don't like it because like that doesn't make any sense. Like for Kirby to ever not be able to do that, he swallows like a
Yeah,
god.
that is something I've noticed. It's like, isn't Kirby supposed to be like a fucking pocket dimension? Isn't he
Yeah,
supposed to be like a black hole? How the
yeah,
hell
he
can he
is.
not
Like, yeah,
swallow a car?
yeah. So I'm not big on that.
I
But
will
I
say
like
though,
Kirby as a character, and I love the Kirby fan base because they're like the least toxic fan base ever.
mm,
Yeah, Kirby people are really like you. They're genuinely like super nice. They're
you
all
know,
like really happy.
that's actually very weird, because usually the way it goes is like the fan base of like really edgy and dark stuff
Yeah,
is like the nicest community. Meanwhile, the community for like really nice things are usually just absolute fucking sociopathic bitches.
that's true. And I
Like,
think
okay,
maybe Kirby avoids that partially because Kirby seems really fun and cute on the outside, but a lot of the older games got really dark at the end.
I
They were like really disturbing.
maybe a month ago I watched a video of someone breaking down Kirby lore, and I'm like, wait, there's actually a coherent lore to Kirby?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of lore.
Yeah, and
It's
then I
just
read
really
about it and
dark.
I'm like, oh shit, I will never look at that butterfly the same way again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You saw the same video as me probably, but yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Kirby's pretty cool.
probably my favorite Kirby lore though comes from, I don't even know if it's canon, the anime.
No, it's not canon.
Oh, did you grow up watching it?
No, no. I grew up playing the Kirby games on the Game Boy. I didn't have a NES or Super NES,
So,
so I
have
grew
you
up
ever
playing
like
those.
watched the Kirby anime retrospectively?
I've watched like one episode. I've watched maybe one. I
It's
saw it once on Saturday morning as a kid, but I don't
it
remember.
was pretty good actually, even though it was like done by 4 kids and they removed
Yeah.
an episode because guns.
Oh
But
boy.
I will say the best decision they ever made, they gave Meta Knight a Spanish accent.
Yeah, yeah. That was really fitting.
Like, they made him Zorro.
Yeah.
They made him Zorro, and
Nice.
my god, he had some of the most quotable lines in that show. Like,
Yeah.
he was a hilarious character in that series, but probably, like, and this is the thing that I found it so interesting, is it's explained in that show that Kirby is literally a baby. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's where the whole meme about Kirby being a baby came from. Before that, like he wasn't really considered a baby.
yeah, like, the idea that, no matter, I think he's canon over 100 years old, but it's like he's still considered infantile by his race, of which Meta Knight is a part of.
Yeah.
So it's like, first and foremost, that's a horrifying revelation that he's in his weakest form right now. Because, like, he is the Great Devourer. He gives Tyranids a run for their money.
Yeah.
But also, it's just such an interesting dichotomy that someone so powerful is also so naive and so adorable. It's like, it's like the Iron Giant, but without the intimidating, gigantic metal robot.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, it's just something weird about it.
Well, were there any more questions you wanted to ask me?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head. Do you have any questions for me in particular?
Not that I can think of.
Not that I can think of. If people want to comment any questions that they have,
Yeah, because
in
I
the comment.
noticed someone in the chat said they just joined, and I don't want to like leave them without anything. But
Yeah.
I guess chat, unironically, do you actually have questions? Is there anything you want to ask?
Hold on, I don't have the chat up, so
Hmm.
you'll have to tell me if I do.
Uh, Nothing updating so far, but yeah, if you want to ask anything of Textile George, now is your chance.
Yeah. Is this video going to be available after the stream, like on your
Yes,
channel?
yes,
Okay.
this is going to be available.
Okay. If anyone is watching this after the fact and they've gotten to this point and they have any extra questions they want to ask, I will check the video
We are
periodically.
getting some
Hopefully.
questions now. Godzilla or
Okay.
King Kong?
Godzilla.
Yes, because Godzilla is 6 times the size canonically, and he has radioactive breath.
Yeah, and he's just cooler. Godzilla is like this really cool thing, and King
Mm.
Kong's a big monkey. It's like, yeah, all right,
Yeah,
cool.
like, if it wasn't for the Return to Monkey meme, nobody would be cheering for King Kong.
I'm gonna get a 9mm revolver. I don't know what
Mm.
kind yet.
If I were to ever get a gun, well, I mean, there's a few types I want, but I would definitely want a 22. Because, one,
Yeah.
I am not going to be in a situation where I would actually want to kill a person. Number two, I don't want to go deaf.
No, see, I'm the opposite. It's like if I'm gonna have to use the gun, I want the person to stop being a threat. So I don't want to use a 22
Yeah,
and risk them not being a threat anymore.
I,
If I
I,
have to live with killing somebody, I'll just have to
I
live.
mean, I live in a good neighborhood where I don't have to deal with crackheads, so I think I can
Yeah,
afford
you're a
it.
Canadian. You get to like you just use the 22. I've got to use the 9mm.
Actually, it's actually illegal to assault someone in your home, even if they are an intruder.
Oh boy, I would go to jail then because if someone breaks in, they're gonna get shot and assaulted, maybe both.
Yeah, yeah, I think Vastman has it good. My brother has a 22, and he decided to Mall Ninja the shit out of it because he's a big Tarkov fan, and he wants to accessorize his gun like a Barbie doll. So it's
Yeah.
got a scope and a canted sight and a bipod, and it was originally a wooden body. He got like Picatinny on it and shit. But that's his plinking gun. He also has uh a Browning shotgun, which have you ever fired a shotgun?
No, I haven't.
Those things are fucking scary. Like first day I try shooting it. First day yeah, it's another thing. 22s have basically no recoil. First day I shot that shotgun. I think I fired a total of 6 rounds. By the 6th round, my hand was shaking. It was shaking. I couldn't even look down the single sight because it doesn't even have a rear sight properly. And, like, shaking, and my middle finger was bruised because it kept hitting the trigger guard. Because I wasn't holding it tightly enough. Like,
yeah,
and
you gotta hold on to them.
like, it is like being punched in the shoulder legitimately. Granted, we were using, like, high-powered deer slugs, but still, holy fuck. I have a lot of respect for shotguns now. Those things,
Yeah,
they're fun. They're fun, but holy shit, they are scary.
I'm gonna get a break action 12 gauge shotgun. Also, that's gonna be my second gun.
Yes.
That'll be like for hunting and possibly self defense in the house.
My
revolver is gonna be the
my
main,
brother's my brother's third gun and my favorite is a Finnish-made Mosin Nagant.
Oh, cool.
Because apparently the Finns know how to make a Mosin, and like I want to post it on K. My brother doesn't want me to because people look up the serial number. It's like, yeah, people look up the serial number so they know it's authentic. Because a genuine Finnish Mosin, a moist nugget from Finland, that's all together, all parts, that's something K would go nuts over. I've seen what K does when they see like an old gun collection, and they just gush over it.
Someone had a question about my icon. Why did I choose gondola?
I don't know. I just really vibe with Gondola. I love the meme. Um, it's it's something that I can just like sit and look at gondolas like all day and just be like, yeah, man, that
Uh,
was a really nice experience. I'm gonna watch another one and just keep doing it. You know?
Another question about your guns. Is your shotgun going to be like coach style, or is it going to be side by side?
It's gonna be side by side, but that's only because it's a lot cheaper.
Hmm.
I don't want to pay a bunch for it over under.
Let's see. Mark says, "Marry me."
Uh, sure, move to Kentucky. We'll do it.
Huh. International Harvester, the farming company, made the M1 Grands. I did not know that.
What? That's
Then
interesting.
then again, Mattel helped make the original N16s.
Really, that's awesome.
Like, there's a reason why they were sometimes referred to in Vietnam as the Mattel 16. Partly because it felt like a toy, but like it because what American manufacturer knows how to pump out plastic in massive quantities?
Oh
Like
yeah,
at the
that's
time,
makes sense.
it's like plastic is a very new commodity. What company can do that? Well, a toy company. So let's just contract them.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they do it anymore, but
Well,
question,
what the heck?
anything about comic books?
I tried to get into comic books for a while. But I don't know. I feel like for the most part they're not like the kind of stories that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for episodic like ongoing stuff that may or
Mm.
may not ever like really wrap up and takes forever to do so.
Uh
I enjoyed the Sandman comics.
mm. There is one particular webcomic that I loved. I stopped reading it. I should get back into it at some point. It might have already ended. Kill 6 billion demons is what it's called, and
Oh,
oh, it's good.
I
It
forgot about web comics.
Yeah, webcomic can be pretty good.
I,
K6BD is, let me put it to you
oh
this way.
yeah,
It's
that one's good.
Oh, you've seen Kill 6 billion?
Oh no, I thought you said XKCD.
No, K6BD, Kill 6 billion demons.
Oh okay.
Because that is such a, it's, how do I explain it to you? It's like everything based about religion. Like, the angels are biblically accurate. It's also very, like, Hindu and Buddhist inspired. And let me put it to you this way. Imagine heaven, but it's a fucking gigantic planet-sized slum.
Huh.
Uh, that's like ruled by corrupt elites, uh, who basically have the equivalent of WMDs on their side to keep people in line. And basically everyone inhabits the hollowed out bodies of dead gods.
Huh.
And
That's weird.
it's like it has that sort of Blade Runner cyberpunk feel to it. Like there's like neon signs in the streets with vaguely Asian looking characters, like as characters as in like neon signs and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it kind of feels sort of like Blade Runner or Akira.
Sounds interesting. Yeah, I guess manga and webcomics count. There was a like it's an actual webcomic. Is Tower of God is a really good one. Have you ever heard of that? It's a Korean webcomic.
I'm looking it up now.
It's probably still ongoing. If it ever finishes, I'm gonna read the whole thing. It's been going for like 10 years now at least.
Well, apparently there's an anime adaptation.
No, I'm not interested in that. I'm sure they won't do it justice. But
By the way, question.
yes,
JoJo, yes or no?
no, absolutely not.
Wow. Well, I guess
Absolutely not.
that's one thing you have in common with my girlfriend. I don't know. I think JoJo is the JoJo fan base is on the like razor edge of being insufferable, But at the same time, it's like
on the edge. No. They're actually insufferable, bro. I'm sorry.
See, you say that, and sometimes it feels like it, but other times I'm like, yeah, JoJo.
No, I've never liked that. Never.
I always love JoJo.
I watched the first 3 parts, and I liked the first part. I thought the second part was okay, and the third part was like unbearable, and I could not finish it.
See,
but it's the fan base that kills it for me, and the unfunny jokes, and just like, oh my god.
yeah. So, like, to people, usually the way it goes is people say, "Oh, I watched the first part and it was boring. I couldn't get through it." I'm like, yeah,
No, see, I thought the first and second part were really good. They were like genuinely good anime.
Then they dropped Hormone.
Completely jumped the shark. I don't get everyone's love of it because it's so bad. I'm sorry if anyone likes it, but your opinion is wrong.
Wow, that hurts. Like, I like it just because of how fucking weird and hard to predict it can be at times. Like, let me put it this way: if you were to you could identify a JoJo villain on the street, especially like in the later parts when they start like dressing in straight up drag.
Yeah.
Like, if you like weird shit that's kind of campy and just a little uncomfortable, yeah, you'll like JoJo. It's like, it's so extra, it's so exaggerated. But if you don't
listen to him. Don't watch JoJo, guys. Do not.
But if you want something more traditional and with less testosterone and more fan service, JoJo isn't for you. Like,
if you want some based anime, guys, go watch Katanagatari. Very good anime.
Yeah.
Not Bakemonogatari. That's a different thing. Katanagatari. Best anime ever.
All I'll say is JoJo is definitely among my favorites. It's not my favorite though. That belongs to Psycho-Pass.
I don't know if I've seen that.
I've never seen an anime come that close to being intelligent. Like, I've never seen an anime where you don't even know who is the good guy, because the villain, despite being psychotic, also makes a lot of sense. And
wait, maybe I have seen this. Hang on, let me look up. It's just called Psycho-Pass?
Psycho-Pass, P-A-S-S.
Oh, Psycho-Pass. Yeah, I have not watched that, but that's mainly because I didn't like the art style.
Let me put it this way. The main villain quotes Rene Descartes and even references Gulliver's Travel. It's like, it's such a highbrow philosophical thriller.
That's interesting.
Like, I've never seen an anime quote philosophers in like a fucking monologue debate shit. It's like, and it doesn't even have. I haven't seen it.
It's not common though. It's definitely not common in popular anime.
Yeah, it's a show that, oh god, and it's like, it's definitely got this also very interesting juxtaposition which sort of highlights the world we live in. Like, especially commercialized Japan, in a way. Because, like, everything is so cutesy all the time. Meanwhile, it's a murder mystery show, and some of these murders are legitimately brutal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, oh, I'm not even gonna spoil it, but let's just say that there is some legitimate body horror in that show.
Oh, man, if you want body horror and stuff like that, since you have like a thing with that, especially with like your icon and stuff like that.
Well, thanks.
Check out the manga Frankenfran. Only if you have a strong stomach, people, and or over 18. It is very disturbing.
I have it open on another tab, and I'll look through it. Oh my, that's a lot of arms.
Frankenfran is probably the most disturbing manga I've ever seen, easily.
I'm getting slight Soul Eater vibes from this.
Oh, it's way more disturbing than
I know. That said, Soul Eater is definitely among my favorite anime.
There's this and certain parts of Gantz, I guess, are the most disturbing manga I've ever read.
Have you?
But Frankenfran is all body horror.
It definitely looks like it. are you a connoisseur of Junji Ito?
Yeah, I've read a decent amount of his stuff.
Yeah, I've read Uzumaki, I've read Gyo, and
Yeah.
I even played the roguelike, which is a love letter to Junji Ito called World of Horror.
Really? I didn't know that existed. That's interesting.
It's... So, if you're not a fan of Lovecraft Ito stuff, you're probably not going to like it, because...
Yeah.
Let's just say its
I
mechanics are
like
very
that stuff.
simplistic, but... Also, it's... One thing I do like about, though, is, like, the aesthetic it has. It's got this, like old school 80s aesthetic. Like, when you open the game, your screen is inside, like, an old computer screen. And...
Oh,
The graphics are quite literally 2-bit. There's only black and white as the color scheme. And
interesting.
even the music is very chiptune, and it all feels like 80s manga and like the style of Junji Ito, and like there's definitely so many references to his style of work. But yeah. Ito is definitely also the opening and closing theme for my channel, like for those who have been here the entire time, thank you for staying with us for 2.5 hours, by the way. You probably heard that at the beginning. That's from it's in the description, but it's from a YouTube channel called Ill Advised Records, which does something called quote unquote dark lo-fi. Because people have to make schizocore versions of lo-fi now. And it was specifically from a I guess an album called Junji Ito type beats to become one with the Spiral 2. And that and the closing theme, which you'll hear soon, is from that.
Very nice.
Have I read any of his books? Well, have you? That's a good question.
I have not personally. The closest I've gotten to reading Lovecraft is watching fucking Billy Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. They actually bring up Lovecraft stuff a lot. So
the Phone of Cthulhu was a joke I did not understand as a kid, but as an adult, I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh yeah, that show has aged really well.
Oh god, and I also didn't understand the Hellraiser reference.
There's a lot of stuff in that.
I did.
Like, how did they even get that on the channel?
Billy and Mandy was definitely a classic, and it's aged very well. But my introduction to Lovecraft came through Warframe, believe it or not.
Wow.
Because I have almost 4,000 hours in Warframe. That was my high school life. But it got grindy, like all MMOs do. So what do?
Oh yeah.
You put something on in the background, and what did I put on? Yeah, Warframe is pretty neat. I haven't played it recently. I know that like a lot of new content's dropped. But anyways, so I put on audiobooks of H.P. Lovecraft, and that's how I started getting involved. And all I can say is, do you play Warframe, by the way?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I've tried to purposely avoid all MMOs my entire life. I'm like, I would get too hooked.
Probably for the best. Although Warframe is hella fun, because someone's asking your opinion on Nidus.
Oh, I don't know what Nidus is.
Nidus is one of the classes in the game.
Oh, rip. No, sorry, bud. I don't play MMOs.
I enjoy Nidus.
Realm of the Mad God. Realm of the Mad God is technically an MMO, and I enjoyed it. And there was also a congressional simulation MMO that was all text-based. That was actually a Flash game back in the day that I played and put like 2,000 hours in or something crazy. It's no longer around. The developer of it actually developed really severe schizophrenia, and he's like homeless now. So.
Oh, is it Temple OS?
No, it's not Temple OS. But the guy went way even crazier than that, like way crazier. He's like sitting around like mixing sodas, thinking that he's shifting realities and stuff like that. He's like really, really bad. So like the game got shut down because like he like went off on people and anyway that was a good time. That's the only MMO I got like super hooked on.
As for Sinfer, I understand why people like Innsmouth, but at the same time, I can't get over just the blatant, like, because Lovecraft was a massive fucking racist. Like, even for his time, he was afraid of everything that he was unfamiliar with, which included people he was unfamiliar with. Let me put it this way: Lovecraft wrote a short story about air conditioners.
I've heard about that. Yeah, I actually saw a video explaining that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, that's something else.
That's the thing about Lovecraft's racism, is it doesn't come from the usual places, it just comes from him being really afraid of fucking everything.
Well, I kind of get that. Back then, like you couldn't learn about stuff. Like air conditioner must have been like pretty scary because like, don't you like it like because the only thing you would have a relation with like cooling stuff down is like to preserve it. So
Like
I get where he was coming from.
Yeah, but like it was different. Like, he was absolutely afraid to death of anything that wasn't familiar with him, and like Innsmouth is a good example of this because, spoiler alert, the whole one of the grand reveals is that the people of Innsmouth, in order to keep their town alive and keep their economy going, they made a pact with fish people. Which included...
Oh, yeah.
Which included crossbreeding with them. And the children would, as they grow older, become more fish-like until they finally go into the sea. And it's like, okay, this is obviously a metaphor for race mixing. This is obviously a metaphor for race mixing. And it's like, I understand why people like Innsmouth, though, because it was one of his first works that had, like, an actual action sequence in it. Someone actually had to escape a near-death experience running through the streets. It was definitely an evolution for him, but there was always that part of me, it's like, yeah, but this is also one of his more thinly veiled excuses for racism. Like, for me, my favorite is probably At the Mountains of Madness. Even though, depending on how you look at it, it could have racist implications, but it also could be seen as him sort of shedding his racism before his death. Plus, it was just very interesting. Like, I feel like the movie The Thing was to some extent inspired by At the Mountains of Madness. Now
I'll have to check that out sometime.
The Outsider was also a nice short story. I never finished The Dreamland of Unknown Kadath, even though that's one of his weirder ones. Oh yeah, The Color Out of Space was good. That was a good one. I love that one. That's one you should put on your list. They even made a movie about it with Nick Cage. I wonder how bad it was. But that was definitely something that deserved to be a movie regardless. The Thing on the Doorstep was also another favorite of mine. Like, that was the first Lovecraft story that had me at the edge of my seat. Hello, Diego.
I need to get the audiobooks of Lovecraft. And
they're free online. Like, his work is basically public domain. There's a channel called Horror Babble, which has this nice, posh British guy doing the voice acting, and he does a really good job of it.
I'll have to check that out. All right, fellas. Any more questions you have for me, Grim?
Well, I have a question. Do you have somewhere to be? Are you tired?
Yeah, I've got to go to bed to get.
All right. Well, in that case, I think we will wrap this up. But thank you so much for being here. This was an absolute thrill. And as a side bonus, I think I got a massive boost in my channel.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. I hope this was informative and
yes,
people enjoyed it.
Yep.
It looks like people enjoyed it.
Yep. I'm gonna be streaming more this week. Gonna try and finish a video I want to post. But anyways, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Mr. Textile George. Perhaps we could do this again some other time. But
yeah, that would be great.
Until then, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.